Welcome, everybody, back to Befriendus. Hang on, I have a thing and there's a dog in the way. It's all gone wrong already. Befriendus! Haha! Welcome back to Befriendus, everybody. Today's Befriendus gameplay is going to be Aranea and Porrim, and I am very, very excited about it. It's been a minute, but I'm so looking forward to what's in store today. Just because it's so good. It's so good, and I'm so excited for this. Anyway, let's get right to it, shall we? All right, start. All right, so we're gonna start with Volume 3, the very model of a blue Historia Gratiate. Yup, I pronounced that correctly. That's for damn sure. And for everyone who's in chat, I won't be looking at chat too much, so I can be like as much in it as possible, like I did with Distant Quest when those volumes came out. So I won't be reading too much chat if you're watching live. If you're watching YouTube, I want to make this as much of a Befriendus-focused gameplay as possible. So, let's get to it, shall we? You leave Matuna's hive after sunset, and one final game of Transportalization Oval 2, Heart, once again, a unique kind of light and heavy at once. That's 2 friends on your roster now, provided you've been winning. Well, oh wait, hang on, there's no audio. Got it. We're here, we're good. It's very loud, let me turn that down. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Just a chill one. Ooh. Ooh. Me like. Alright. Provided you've been winning. These games are a little more linear than our source material, so if you would be so kind, please be winning. Fair. You ponder the advice you gave Matsuna, and it is true. All you can do is keep moving forward, getting through it the way you always have. For all that's changed, for all your current uncertainty, it is still friendship that keeps your stalwart blood pusher pushing. Normal people in your position might have questions. How did I get here? Why isn't anyone killing me? Where'd that other moon go? But you're totally happy with your current ignorance. On the friend prowl, no need to occupy yourself with itchy, unpleasant questions about your existence. Simply vibing. That's all we can ask for. Every building around here is distinctive in shape. Here, a hive stem that gives the leaning tower of Pisa a run for its money. Here, one so low to the ground you would have to duck. But the rest of the subgrub is characterized by an almost haunting sameness. You're starting to worry you'll get lost. As you're pondering the pros and cons of Cuddleplum's urban planning, and definitely no other questions, you stumble upon the front steps of a library. I want to spend my vacation at the library! Look. Anytime a library comes up, I'm gonna make that joke. That's just how it has to be. You pause. Your spider sense is tingling. Friend sense? Oh no, that's just called empathy. Maybe the power of noticing a person, or noticing a person with your regular senses, or napwears. Point is, there's a girl seated halfway up the steps, looking dejected. Now, technically, you could move on. You get the feeling that this planet must have tons of places to go with their problems, but they're probably leaps and bounds more well-equipped to help than you. There. You've got a to-do list. Besides, aren't you still looking for Aranea? But all cold logic aside, your heart couldn't take it. You gently climb the steps to her. Oh, I don't like gently doing anything, not for Doki Doki. I love Aranea's sprites so much. By the way, I love them. Just so you know. Now that you're getting closer, you notice she's working. You watch as she taps the tip of her pencil against the page, willing good thoughts to come out. But just as you're beginning to figure out her deal, her head snaps up to regard you. Yeah. No, wait, this is okay. She's not glaring at you with any of the same animosity she sent boring into that notebook. She's rather welcoming, actually. Ooh. Patrick did excellent work. It really, really did. Yeah. The music this time is so chill, I love it. Almost alarmingly so. She's wearing a smile that, in fact, makes you feel simultaneously enormously at ease and very, very sorry for taking up that emotional bandwidth. Oh! Oh, I wasn't expecting a sexy saxophone! Oh! It's okay. No, yeah, of course it is. You don't have a right to her business anyway. If she says it's okay, then you're sure it's okay. No. That was actually, I have to remember Arena's voice. It's like Vriska, but it's a bit nerdier. That was actually just fine, and a nice look on someone looking for friends.
I just meant that my smile is okay. It isn't there to ignore myself. As you can see, I'm having a difficult night. There's something stormy brewing for you, too.
Ooh, the saxophone. Remembering your general prior experiences with blue bloods, you take a step back. Here on Beforus, it's harder to hear a threat in anything anyone says to you than to find a half pipe tall enough to get any air. But still, it's better safe than dead.
You're uneasy. I think you should explain. I mean, I meant that there's something stormy brewing in your brain. I don't take any liberties intentionally, but I have a gift of powerful psychic empathy, and there are some components of it that can't be turned off. Emotion reading with you, for example, is a little like standing next to a particularly strong smell.
Gee, thanks, you say. Look, I know it's hard to wash something that has lights in it, but give me a break. Come on.
You're welcome. It wasn't an insult. Most of my cast aren't as powerful as I. That's why I put an intentional check on my abilities. And to quote our resident game girl, if the slurry can't nerf all of us, homemade is fine. For example, I've never used them to take control without permission.
But you have taken control without permission?
I won't use them on you. Please don't worry. Really, it's sort of a chore. Some people want to study what the experience is like.
Okay, sure.
Even then, I have personal guidelines. I'll pilot you through admitting a crush if you really need it, but I won't help you cheat on a test.
You know, I mean, you gotta have your principles, I guess.
I'm Aranea Serket. Serket for the pun inclined.
Bring! Are there 8? Are there 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8! It checks out. Hey, Capital B. Welcome to the stream. No side quest achievement popped up in the corner of your eye, but checking that off your mental to-do list was so satisfying.
You're Mina's friend, aren't you? Acquaintance. Anyway. It was just one night. Hours, but I'm sure you two are very happy. A captor was raving about you in the group chat, not that I should gossip, or read a word of it.
Did Captor say anything about being his friend? Maybe?
If you were wondering why I looked so dejected earlier, that would be because of my presentation for the bi-weekly conference of the Rising Befriend Historical Cultural Society.
That was a lot of ulls. This feels, for some reason, like the start of an unskippable monologue. Boy, here it comes. No, seriously, she's really getting into it. You swallow the irrational need for validation about your most recent friendship and start using your save slots. Oh no.
We're a selection of Beforus' best and brightest, each of us tasked with weaving together and preserving an entirely new and necessary facet of Befriend history and its current impacts, and have a full season once we've submitted our topic for approval to pull together resources, create an argument, and add our stitch to the vast historical web. By add, I mean suggest, of course. One night we may untangle the full true story of Beforus and its upbringing, but its depths fully plumbed, no moment left behind. But in the meantime, our work is in untangling it and passing it on to the next generation. For me, one after mine. In one season, you could be seeing a fully fledged Historia Gratiate apprentice standing in front of you.
Okay, that's the pronunciation. I can't read.
That's why the conference matters so much.
Thanks for your luck. Oh, I'm gonna need that luck. She starts to look a little dejected, again, like she'd been so busy explaining for your benefit that she'd forgotten.
She had all season to prepare, and she swoops in like this at the last minute.
Who?
Empath.
Oh boy.
Annie Empath has scored consistently at the top of second top of almost every multiple choice exam, but her research topic barely scraped by. You can't just memorize your way through a thesis proposal. But even with her shoddy craftsmanship and poor work ethic, Empath has always managed to pull off high ranks. And just because she doesn't color-code her folders or has to speak with mentors after the presentation is over, I mean, this is only between you and me, but school feeders cold charge who? Rumors fly and attractive ones stick. And so, even with other empaths in the room, and even with my fastidious documentation, we know what side the narrative will somehow take. Never let it be said that Beforus doesn't have a penchant for favoritism. So I can't show up with the same project. Empath has gracelessly stumbled into orchestrating the murder of my academic career while making it look like a suicide. Now you get the problem.
Gah! Aranea. Aranea. It returns. My inability to speak. It never leaves. It's always here. Aranea recoils, and you very quickly try to school your facial expression for her sake. You bet she gets that a lot. God, I love these sprites so much.
My old thesis was that events currently categorized under the 11th century...
That's something.
Ethic, got it, I think, maybe. May fall as late as a couple sweeps after, for reasons shrouded in mystery to most scholars. Very few documents about the disappearance of the SS Armageddon have survived. Empathy's got her...
I don't even know what that word could possibly be. Those are just letters and a number strewn together. Thanks for the, BHIC. Okay, thank you. Look, I'm too stupid for this stuff. Thanks for the hydrate, Trixie. Grab mitts. I forget 8s can be Bs. This is important knowledge. Thank you.
Empathy's got her grab mitts on all the same facts I collected, I'm sure. It's not research and know-how she's lacking. But that's fine. I'll come back in a few sweeps and whip up a through line out of whatever passionless proposal Empathy's left in her wake before rising into her celebrated career of rote flavorless data collection and wondering why wigglers think history is boring. That's if I establish myself academically first.
Oh, got it, okay. She will, she clearly has the skills to. I don't feel like we would know that yet. I really like these little, like, jellyfish-like things, too. These are really cool, I like this. I also like the little detail that the windows have the H. I like that.
Thank you. It's just...
Aranea thwaps a hand uncharitably at the paper in her lap.
Every single option I put to paper dulls the second I jot it down. I know it's a challenge every writer faces. I promise I'm not being hard on myself about my own creativity. There's just nothing fresh. This is a situation that needs a catalyst, a spark, a real outsider's touch.
She's looking at you. Great. I guess that's fallen onto me, huh? Cool.
I've narrowed us down to 2 binary possibilities. On the one hand, we're in the heart of Cuddleplum's historic downtown. There's a trove of mysteries to be mined right here, just from overturning a single brick. Besides, I would love to show you around. On the other hand, we're in the heart of Cuddleplum's historic downtown. Museums of all kinds abound, and some would say there's something a little foolish in spurning knowledge when it's already been gathered and archived. We can play it safe and interpret our subject area thinly, or I can take you somewhere more real than the tourist experience. So what do you think? Fateful crossroads, branching paths, multiple choice. Shit. Should we start at the museum or around town?
You pass the baton back to Aranea. It's her project, right? You want to help, but this feels a little bit like enabling plagiarism.
Because beyond our jumping off point, I would do all the research and really did already get you down to 2 options. 2 itsy-bitsy changes to start off our trajectory, through the entire body of Befriend historical canon, and further narrowed when we realized neither path includes the vast history of colonization and civilization of the stars. It's really only that in your choice-based narrative, I ought to give you a choice.
Well, what the hey, you can't argue with that. She's really insistent. She really is, isn't she? And academically honest. And just bubbling over with anxiety.
So, which one will it be?
Boy, I fucking feel that one. Okay, I can picture nothing more exciting than in this life, than a museum of entomopology, or let's hit the town. History is everywhere. Okay. Officially an itsy bitsy reference. That, you know what? I missed it, but that checks out. Okay, let's see. I can picture nothing more exciting in this life, or let's hit the town. History is everywhere. Oh, I don't know. Let's hit the town. Let's see what goes wrong. Yeah, you know, let's see what happens.
All right.
Aranea bobs on the balls of her feet and gestures. That probably was the wrong option. I feel like taking the safer option, the one where we go to the museum. That ends with us dying. Maybe. Aranea bobs on the balls of her feet and gestures with an open arm down the wide path in front of you.
Welcome to Cuddleplum. Cuddleplum offers a quintessential cross-section of West Befriend society and will be the center of our investigative study. And I think you're just the fresh perspective we need. What is Beforus as it falls on alien gander bulbs?
It's very smooth, you say. Smooth. Aranea seems delighted by your novel opinions. That it's smooth. Smooth is a novel opinion. Apparently.
It is. This book hive is the product of an architectural competition in the 380th century of the reign of her impassioned conservation. Architect to build, cull for the health and betterment of the population, cultural pertaining to culture, a set of expected behaviors, norms, and traditions.
It's ground. I love these sprites so much.
Yeah, say if you gotta do 8-ball space, ask it your question, and then it'll give you an answer. Now, its grounds used to be a motley of poorly designed hiving, now relocated to the north side, and before that, any manner of pre-civilization site, a ceremonial mosh circle, a death sports arena, a burial ground. And after that, another book hive, but it was in need of a serious upgrade. Do you notice anything else?
You do notice something else, because actually it's got you rather distracted. At a picnic table with a troll 2 or 3 sweeps younger than Aranea is an adult, a large 9-foot-tall pearl necklace-wearing adult. She's a high-blood wearing an indigo peplum. I've never heard that word before. Although when it's reversed, it's mulpep, and I love that. I don't know why that came to mind, but I'm digging it. And blindingly white slacks, and she has her hand on the curled fist of a bronze-clad child, moving their finger to follow words on a page. You notice this pair at exactly the same moment as Aranea asked her question, and ice shot through your veins. Aranea, of course, noticed.
No, don't worry, she's not. Hurting them, that is. Nor is she going to. Was that the concern? A fully qualified cult taker would never get it and maintain their certification without being in complete control and awareness of their own strength. What you're watching is a phonics lesson. It's rare to see outings like this at such a high-level institution, but I admire the risk she's taking. Some say that exposing a cold troll to futures they won't live to realize is only going to make them miserable and remind them of where the grass seems greener, but a few groundbreaking cult takers disagree. But just because your charge won't have the lifespan to participate in the grand scope of academia, it doesn't mean they shouldn't know what's out there.
I see both sides of the argument. Yeah, either one sounds reasonable. Aranea leans down. Thank you for the follow, Right Circuit. Thank you so much. Aranea leans down to the child's eye level and waves hello. You guess you should too? You wave as meekly as you can manage, halfway hiding behind her, but Aranea is already shuffling you along. The sidewalk takes a sharp turn sideways, and you pad along the street now, headed deeper into Cuddleplum's historic downtown as the adult and child shrink out of sight.
It's alright to ask questions.
It's just that you were, where you, come from, you begin. Culling has different connotations. Not that you don't like these ones. These ones seem very nice. These ones seem a lot less murdery. We're gonna go with that. Still, you have to wonder, why are they just learning from their lusus?
At that age, it's likely they were orphaned a little too soon. I didn't take much of a mental peek, but you seem so concerned. Anyway, they did have some kind of turmoil in their past.
Oof, you really did ask why that kid doesn't have parents, didn't you? Oh man, we just saw Troll Batman. Maybe. That high blood was Alfred.
The culling system exists to assist Beforus' most vulnerable populations, pairing at-risk trolls with safe, nurturing homes and fulfilling lives.
That was a weird sound my mouth just made.
Cultural education, our first expository deep dive. Never be afraid of questions. Through the system, trolls in need are paired with cult takers, a caregiver trained and certified to provide a tender and protective environment.
What do you think of the music for this Root Overdrive? I think it's fucking rad. I love it. It's so chill.
And cult taker cull pairs are usually situated in the same hive, though there are some exceptions. Cases that are still being evaluated transitioning out of culling or in need of less support may only see an occasional visit. Those two have known each other for a long time, sweeps upon sweeps.
Your restless thoughts settle, tentatively. Okay. You don't like the image of a two-sweeple taking care of himself either. Your heart is still racing out of sheer learned reflex, but you shake yourself out of it as well as you can. This is a new planet. Drop your preconceptions.
Unfortunately for our purposes, the culling system has been thoroughly documented and leaves little to explore. You and I, we're looking for discovery. But this is exactly the sort of thing I need. Often the things that blind us to discovery are our own night-to-night habits, our preconceptions. I travel down the street every night. It's stale to me. So ask me about anything here foreign to you. What assumptions have I made that can be overturned? What small facets of our environment make you wonder about their foundation?
You mean the music for this overdrive? It's awesome. You did a great job. I love it. You look around yourself with an anxious gulp, floundering.
You don't need to be so hard on yourself. Everything you're saying is valuable. I hadn't thought I would have an encounter with an alien like this for another couple centuries, and even then it's the luck of the draw, so we're told. Even after going off planet, who knows if I would have encountered meaningful communicative life.
Wait a second, hold up. Befriend study aliens?
We do. We aren't an intergalactic empire for nothing, after all. I'd planned to keep our focus on planet, not to skew the field of extraterrestrial studies. It's just that in this competition, you get extra points for primary sources.
Oh, come on! You gesture at yourself and raise an eyebrow.
It is exciting news for someone like yourself, yes.
You roll your eyes, remind yourself to be patient, and gesture a little more furiously. Just a tad more, like maybe 5% more furiously. Hello, primary source! Aranea's eyebrows slowly raise further, first in tentative understanding, then in delight.
You'd be willing to do that?
8 question marks, love it. You so very much would! You know Earth like the back of your hand. You're all about Earth. Anthropological study of one right here, baby. Even better, you're used to explaining yourself to aliens. You came to class prepared.
In that case, we should get to work. My hive is probably a better setting for an interview, but it's a 10-minute walk. Are your strut pods feeling tired?
What? No! You assure Aranea that another 10 minutes on your feet is more than manageable. You leave out the miles upon miles you walked earlier today.
Right this way, then. Watch your step.
Ooh. Love it. Oh, I love it. I've had my mouse sitting on the screen because I'm a fool. I'm a dang fool. I love this little photo of her holding her trophy. This is like a little, like, Bulbasaur, like, succulent thing? Oh, man. I love it. You arrive at Aranea's hive. She situates you in what you think must be a respite block, but which has very little emphasis on little emphasis as possible on sleeping. There's a recuperator cocoon at the corner, sure, but everything else is papers, books, and places to file them. Each portrait on the wall is identified by a little brass plaque in its corner, bearing a name and an inspirational quote. Lysentot Pathfire says, "Wit is only half of discovery." One of the portraits is of a little tiny Aranea. Aww. A little tiny Aranea backed by a very large, very toothy spider. You glance around the hive in apprehension.
Is everything all... Oh, you won't need to worry about her.
Of course not. Aranea's mom was probably super cool. For some reason, you have this strong, really difficult to shake bad feeling about Miss Serket's Lucis. You're surprised at yourself, but you're trying to set aside your alien biases.
No, really. It's just you and me. She was removed a while ago.
Removed? Shit, excuse you for assuming. Removed? Okay. Removed, you ask? Aranea doesn't seem too thrilled with the question, but she does grin and bear it.
Nothing special. It was a neat farewell to a bit of a bad embarrassment. I put up with her whining until I was 4, always hungry this, bloodthirsty that. She isn't particularly powerful. It wasn't that much to shut her out, and she can make do with Lucis meat. Anyway, she and I were both grateful to send her off to a better purpose. Sensible solution.
A farm upstate, you figure, gently. Oof. Why is that? Why is Recupera Raccoon? Why is that? I don't know why that was blocked. Anyway,
she serves a government position. Her impassioned conservation has established a symbiotic program to reinvent corpse management, thankfully, for those of us with more primitive needs loci.
You wince in embarrassment and hurry the conversation forward. So, hey, you asked, let's just ignore that happened. How has it been getting away from the embarrassment? She probably does really good on her Empire check-ins, right?
Aranea smiles. Oh no, I wasn't cold. Can you imagine? I'm 6 weeks old.
Right. 6 weeks old. The amount of sweeps you need to beat and not have a Lucis or have Empire check-ins. That amount of sweeps? Right, yes, you say. 6, the age of self-sufficiency. Aranea started to give you a look, so you clear your throat and move on. Hey, Aranea, what's that in your hand? You really wish you hadn't asked. Aranea lifts up what you can only assume is some kind of alien tape recorder, and your brain doesn't want to process what all the moving parts must feel like. Cool. You don't like that you've decided it has a nervous system? I like that that's just the conclusion. You don't like that it has this. Aranea presses down a button in its middle and it starts pulsating. When things pulsate, that's when the...
Can we start with a few questions? Tell the recording, for the record, what planet you're from.
Hello, you say. I'm an alien from Earth of the solar system. Yeah, we really don't have a name for this fucking space that we live in, huh?
How long have you been here on Beforus?
2 days, you say. More or less. There was that quick jaunt to the moon. Wait, shit. Can we start over? Can Aranea strike that from the record?
I'll strike anything sensitive, don't worry. And what has your journey been like, spending these nights away from your home?
Oh, geez, away from your home. That's a lot longer. You hold up a finger to Aranea to ask her for patience while you do some quick mental math. 1, 2, 18.
And you have to think about the space journey before that, of course. It seems I've jumped ahead in the story. Why don't you, my alien friend, take the lead? Aranea says, in a voice she must have learned from documentaries, start at the beginning. The beginning. There's an echo. Why don't we start at the beginning? Fade to black. Well, I guess it all started when I stole a rocket ship. Hard cut. That's how it goes down. That's cinema. That's cinematography for I'm done with that joke. I'm moving on. Huh. Your ship had just lost power. In some kind of freak electrical glitch, some accident, you lost control of navigation. You lost control of everything. And as your ship plummeted down to Mephisto's cafe, toward the planet below, you thought you were going to die. You thought you were going to hit the ground full force, but somehow. But hang on, this isn't the beginning either. You remember the day you saw the advertisement, crumpling and pocketing the flyer, rolling up to recruit with adventure fluttering in your chest at the over-romanticized prospect of your entry-level spacefaring job. That's the beginning. A young man stands in his bedroom. Yeah, right? You remember the day you received the order, a position you loathed. You didn't recognize it at the time, but it was a beginning that made your eventual mutiny a natural conclusion. You got on a spaceship anyway. That was the last you've seen of Earth. You remember waving it goodbye, watching the vastness of the ocean shrink to the size of a marble in the distance. It didn't make your planet feel small, it made everything feel absolutely enormous. You watched it twirl away beneath you, dreaming of the minute you would return with your loving wife or... no, daughter. No, it's just... hang on, you've got to hammer out the lore. You don't remember at all, do you? Panic makes itself known distantly, a discomfited flare in your gut. No, of course you do. It's just a hiccough. You remember the parts that... It's just a... hiccough? Okay, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna just keep moving on. You remember the parts that matter. Aranea's voice takes on a honey-like quality. Soft, sincere. You've really, really worried this girl, and she really, really wants to help. You don't need to be afraid. Something bigger is hurting you, isn't it? I can feel it, rolling around in there, clutching at the back of your mind. I can feel it sending its feelers forward, even as you try to shove it back behind lock and key. It's not going to be able to stay there forever. I can tell that one way or another, it is coming out. So are we not doing phrasing? But I can help you bring it forward safely. This exercise will be scary, but it doesn't need to be damaging. I'm very well experienced in matters of the mind. Can I take a look? Yeah, that seems like a bad idea. So we're gonna go with that. It's been too many hours since you woke up half drowned. Too long to be this negligent. You've been avoiding this long enough, but it's irresponsible to keep running. You have to face the bad thing eventually. Spelling of hiccup. Oh, okay. I did not know that. You have to figure out what it is you can't remember. Aranea could really use that for the project anyway. She doesn't need any of the space travel, the Alternian lore, the friendships, but she does need someone whose memory can be trusted. I just realized my lights are still on. That's probably extremely distracting. Thank you for the follow, Certified Clown. I didn't see your chat pop up. I apologize, but thank you for the follow. You have to be a reliable primary source, and the last thing you want is seeing someone find out you're not. You can't leave holes in her research for your fear. But is she sure she doesn't want to put a hold on this for now? Come back to you tomorrow. She has a project to finish and sleep to catch before her presentation, and maybe she could just pick something easier. There's not much moonlight left. Don't worry. Consider everything completely under control. In fact, with a little luck, I think we'll have exactly enough time. Fortunate occurrences, strokes of fate, for real though. You take a slow breath, let it out sharp, and nod. Alright, how are we going to do this? Ideally, you relax your mind. It is a prodigious gift, but it helps if you're not afraid of it. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'll only use it exactly how you ask, and you'll know what's happening every step of the way. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like that. I'm extending a small amount of control, the equivalent of a mental feeler, just to guide you along that process. Do your best to unwind. And then we reach back toward the deeper reaches of memory. Yeah, that is relaxing. I can't imagine that feeling good, feeling something just in your brain hole. I apologize. I had to subject any of you to that. This is fine. You're not even scared. You're not even scary. Now, thanks, miss. What the fuck? Hello? Are there pirates? Wake up, moron. Aranea? Wake up, moron. Hang on.
in a second. You feel a sort of urgency to follow this instruction. That has nothing to do with how well you know Aranea and other markings of a friendship, of many. You slip out of consciousness. You come to in fits and starts, less like recovering from a fainting spell and more like waking up from a long night of very weird, vivid dreams. You didn't have any dreams, just that feeling of trying to cling onto them when you wake up, like you know they're not quite finished, or of spending your first minutes of consciousness expecting to be somewhere else before remembering you're lying alone on your bed. Those fever-like dream-dizzy mornings when it takes 3 hits of the snooze button before you realize you were never awake. Tulip just deflated. Regardless of wherever you were expecting to be, you are still in Aranea's hive. Despite everything, it's still you. She's moved you on to the couch. It's more of a couch-shaped nylon sack full of slime, but it's not bad, kind of like a waterbed. You test sitting up, so far so good. Your head feels hollow. Oh, that's a weird thing to think about. Aranea's palm husk buzzes on the coffee table. You look around for her, but she seems to be out of the room. Maybe you can just bring it to her. Oh, fuck darn it. You're not bringing it to her, you're reading her messages like a snoop. We knew it would come to this, didn't we? Oh, fuck darn it. Ariadne's Gambit. Oh, that's a good name. I like that. Began trolling clamant condescension. Guess she hashtag jacked that Empress title pretty quickly. Club. Been reading this so long, this moon dust kicking up my gills just sitting here. And I already flushed him out once tonight. So I'm on the news. Did they pick a good photo? If yes, then why exactly should I give a fly fishing fuck? Disclaimer, only accepting reasons 20 words or less. You look fine. You're wearing a dress. I was going to say anything, but you look fine, okay? It's a photo they put out right after your haircut. You mean with your updated official portrait? Yes. Oh, shell yes! And that's barely a dress anyways. Damn, fucking, I was expecting it to just keep going. Oh! Damn, Snorket, you had me thinking we had a PR emergency on our phones blowing up my fin box like that. Oh, is it? Oh, man. Hang on, it is. Let me see if I can, like, zoom in on that. I don't know if I'll be able to. Here, we're gonna do this. Whoops, hang on. Let me see if I can, whoops. Can I copy paste? And we gotta move this around a little bit. Hang on, let me see if I can zoom that in. Zoom that in. Come on, you can do it, baby. Can you see? Can you see now? The tiny finger. All right. Enough of this silliness. Crisis averted. Phew, I've never looked better. Oh, come on. Give me my chat back, you fool. All right, it's not gonna give it to me. Damn it. Yes, I know. I should send you a framed Gobi. You know, like, copy. I have one. They've edited your crude gestures before you ask. But its presence on every news bulletin across the planet does still make you look kind of notorious. Yeah. You need anything, or... How are you settling in? Is Pete chill? Quiet, rushed footsteps alert you to Arenea's entry into the room. You rapidly scroll back to their most recent messages, past increasingly blue text dotted with increasingly sparse fuchsia interjections, and place the palmos back on the table. So, should I send someone back for the pic, or... I can have it ready by tonight. If you're lucky and don't say you heard it from me, but I hear someone might have sourced a solid gold frame in your honor. Shellius, you're the best Morinea. Ariadne's Gambit is now idle. Ariadne's Gambit began trolling, claiming condescension at 8:33. Did anything strange happen while you were with our new acquaintance? Yeah, we went to the moon. Other than that. Hello? Mina, I'm serious. You good? With clear self-control, Aranea takes the palm husk and, without looking at the message she has been waiting quite a few minutes for, pockets it. You're awake.
She must have known that the moment you woke up too, so why the wait? Was she deliberately keeping you from embarrassing yourself? I've never seen anything like that before. Not to worry, though. How do you feel? Is everything there that was there before? You really don't feel like investigating that question at the moment. You say yes. Can you stand up? Aranea walks you through a series of exercises, all embarrassing and increasingly convoluted, to make sure your motor function is still online. You're not any more or less clumsy than you used to be. Finally, though, she seems satisfied enough to let you hold still. You clear your throat. I can make a few educated guesses. Do you know what third-person omniscient is? Ordinarily, that's a clumsy but reassuring metaphor for how I walk through life, and those like me, but my case is slightly unusual. I am, after all, the best of the best. There's less heart in her words than there could be, but you smile. Weakly. Those are what people who study telepathic and empathic dynamics refer to as passive abilities. Around you, that ability is almost 2 times stronger, but those passive abilities seem to be where my ability to interact with your psyche ends. With your strong emotional stench, yes. How does your species usually access the subconscious? You think for a minute, then glance around Aranea's hive for a cartoon pocket watch. No dice. Dice. I have an idea. I can't control your thoughts. We ran into trouble before I was able to so much to hold their hand. I can, however, act as a guide. Do you feel like discomfort at the back of your mind, like an itch? Are you allowed to say no? I want to say no, but I don't know if that's allowed. I'm willing to guess that's what we need to venture into. Aranea settles onto the couch beside you. She can't take your thoughts' hand, you guess, but she does physically take yours. You do have access to more than you think. Actually, a lot of the problem in there feels... Have you ever had a lucid dream? I think you may be able to take the reins in a similar way. I'm very familiar with the mind. Even if I can't take the helm, I can illuminate which path to follow. You'll just need to do the doing. Thanks to follow, Grimbo. Thank you. Look at me. Good. Close your eyes. Now follow that discomfort.
Oh. Y'all know my feeling about things when music stops. Uh-oh.
As you do, something spreads around your brain like a blanket. There is nothing touching your thoughts, not directly. Once you start feeling a bit woozy, and the sensation pulls back. You feel colder, but you follow her instructions. The discomfort does have a clear locus, a hard pit in your brain. You mentally tiptoe toward it. Aranea gives your hand a squeeze and says, "Go on. You're receiving false danger signals, but nothing bad is going to happen to you. I wouldn't allow it." You don't want to come at the unnerving thing like a battering ram, charge in and bust down the front door. You know it's your own memories, but you can't face it like that. Uh-oh. Visualization is only getting you so far, but you tell yourself you're going to take the thing and creep around it, wind your thoughts very gently along its edge, like, hey there, just passing by, and slip in through the side entrance, like when you see a dog in a yard and you're not sure if the dog is cool. You trip off the mental equivalent of an unforeseen staircase. Someone should have warned me. Why did no one warn me? I could have kept pushing, so I really hope you don't mind me jumping in. I felt it was fitting to take a quick break. This isn't working, is it? Break. Break not working, yes. The features of the hive seem to swim wherever you look. Your eyes can't settle on one place. I thought so. Aranea is casting these sideways glances at you, but the anxiety is not leaving. She can't seem to sit still through the break. Her feet keep fidgeting, shoes scuffing at the floor. I think I have something easier. Can I try something? One more time. Something easier? Binary choices once more, but seriously. Okay, I'm trying it.
I'm trying it.
This time, the comfort that winds itself around your brain is undeniable. It doesn't push, it doesn't, to your massive relief, change anything. It's not even in your brain at all. It's more like, it makes you wonder if this is what Aranea can feel. You're close. Consider it a psychic two-way street. Still passive, mind you, but now you can follow along.
You can, actually. This is bizarre. You feel how expertly Aranea weaves through her own brain, and you realize at once that it's almost exactly like having a map. So you follow it. Whatever Aranea does in her mind, sometimes demonstrating the steps many times over so that you can follow, you repeat. You repeat. You repeat. I'm unsettled. You repeat. Are we going back to the green room? Your attention isn't on the mental map anymore, but it's there. It feels like the switch between learning to ride a bike and simply having the muscle memory to turn left without thinking. This isn't the memory you were looking for when you started. This is much more recent. This is something you didn't want at all. We're going back to Doc Scratches. This is the moments before saltwater locked closed. The word Beforus before you heard it. It's not pronounced the way you expected. This is an anger in your gut. You were going to... To find... No. I like the images of Homestuck on the screen. I really like that. To tell? To reach, to dig, to mend, to break? Eep. Eep. No. You can tell that your response didn't land on her ears well, but you can't process past no. You need a minute. You take several minutes, as many as you need to stop your heart from exiting your chest. Oh. It's still sputtering hard against your sternum, at a rate more healthy for a baby bird than a grown or teenager-ish human. Aranea gives you time, rocking anxiously on her heels. She's made herself busy typing on her palm husk, here and there looking up at you to check on you, and then waiting long enough that it doesn't look like she's totally talking about you. You let out a slow sigh to signal that you might be ready to speak, and Aranea looks up. Oh, thank you for the sub, Grimbo. Thank you so much. For the Prime sub. Waiting for the freak out was worth it. Well, I'm glad I'm delivering. And looking around her hive, you're not sure you can save this. She has a conference tomorrow, you begin gently. Aranea hears rejection and is clear on her features. You're right. She reaches for the stack of papers she'd brought home from the book hive, taps them against the floor to neaten them, and pulls her ideas list to the front. Everything on it is crossed out. What would really help you reset as a way to forge forward, right? Dedication, resiliency, distraction, if nothing else. There are a lot of suitable topics here, no reason to discard good work. Here's one on the fraught and complicated history of trade among our very first colonies, too resource rich to believe they needed us. It's nothing about her, you say gently, because she's a wonderful girl. It's not the mind powers, it's not her use of them. You know this isn't how they usually go. Don't go thinking it's about how she just was kind of tangentially involved in one of the top 10 most horrifying experiences of your life, okay? You just can't stay here. Something terribly young and terribly sharp sets up camp in the shines of Aranea's eyes. She says of course, she makes sure you have a little water to drink and a snack bar for later, and she assures you she'll still get the project done with flying colors. But even as she walks you, are you sure you'll find a place to stay? To the door, something tells you she's heard this story before. Aww. Could not hang. Aww. Aww. Check back later. Aww. So sad. Yeah, it's awesome, Sonny. Also, it's very good. Very good. I love it. All right, so let's see. Zip on past. Where? Oh, really? Wait, she'll interrupt your fucking skipping thing? Oh, I love it. Oh, that's so good. You did tell me to start using the save slots. Where were we? So what happens if I skip again? I love how pissed she looks. Ahem. As we were saying... Wait, what happens if I do it a third time? Game over. Yes! I was hoping for it! But you weren't listening, were you? Oh, yes! Oh, I love it. That's so good. Oh my gosh. Imagine doing Tumblr hashtags in current year. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I love that so much. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and just skip forward first. I know, I apologize. All right, so let's just get to that first choice. God, that's so funny. All right, y'all gonna make me actually save, huh? Well, actually, no, I'm gonna get the... I don't know what the short bad end is, actually. Okay, so we did hit the town, so what if we went to the museum? It's super rude. Just get someone's dialogue to be fair. You know, that's fair, clown. Alright, well, we did this one, and that could have led to the good ending. It was a bit longer, so I'm gonna go with my gut and try and get a different bad ending here. Do you recommend saving? Alright, well, we'll save. We'll save. Alright, let's go here. You tell Aranea... Oh, so this is, museum time. You tell Aranea you can picture nothing more exciting in this life than the Museum of Entomopology. You say it with your soul, you say it with conviction, you convince yourself that your brain means it too. Thank you for choosing. Onward we press. Museums are a font of pre-existing knowledge and interpretation. The works of all the historical greats, the memories of mythologized figures and preserved, powerful nobodies alike who lend us insight into Beforus' surprisingly tumultuous past. There's a lot to explore. The mere recording of a story doesn't mean it's reached completion. Every artifact in every museum in the intergalactic empire carries secrets, and vast scores of those secrets remain uncracked until we find a way to peek into the past directly. Nobody has yet. You could call a museum a collection of already celebrated, the deemed historical because someone has already found and rescued them. The reinterpretable, the troll stops fables of known time. We've decided the Ironclad is really Ironclad, or in which quadrant the Paladin and Partisan really were. Moments and players in a vast interconnected narrative are painstakingly restored from their original breakable formats, or preserved as artifacts submerged in saltwater tanks and presented to the public for informed examination, and other pieces of past still hidden behind the scenes, waiting to be rescued. So, which one will it be? The museum? You'd like to hit the museum. You really don't trust yourself to cook up a history project. Why do they have the same... What? I'm confused. You really don't trust yourself to cook up a history project outside of it when you barely understand the ground you're standing on. And besides, you're sort of worried about Aranea shrugging off her project on your account if you give her too much of a reason to play tour guide. Thank you for being considerate, but it's me who's your host. And while we are working, I'm happy to provide a taste of our Befriend hospitality, esteemed local traditions. You're a guest. Who knows, one night we may need an updated working model of on-planet interspecies diplomacy, so there's no clear advantage to the path more well-trodden. I almost said patch, which didn't make any sense in context. What do you think? That museum all the other applicants are packed into, like moths to an artificial lamp, as they cram in their haphazard conclusions, or the exploration waiting right under our noses? The museum? No! You tell Aranea firmly that you're all right. You're having a really good time, and you would just love to see a good old-fashioned museum. You're starving for one, frankly. The museum? On all that you hold holy, there's nothing you'd like more than to bask in an overpriced gift shop. Knowledge is a fountain of gold, and commemorative shot glasses are $30.59 as a set, and you're begging Aranea to let you drink from either. So, which one will it be? Hey, let's hit the town here. Well, shit, if it's that important to you.
All right.
Aranea bobs on the balls of her feet and gestures open in front of you. Welcome to cut. Okay, so now this is all going to be the same. It's very smooth. Will she interrupt me again? Yes. Okay. Yeah, all right. As we were saying. All right, yep. All right. So we're just going to go through and get to... Get back to the second choice. No museum for us, I guess. Yeah, I guess we're not going to the museum. I guess that wasn't... Oh, cheesy Pete's. I forget control actually skips too. Fuck. I really need to rebind that if that's gonna be a problem. Hang on, I have a hotkey. I need to fix. Professional streamer, everybody. I know what I'm doing. Control is skip, but I can't have control be my hotkey to switch between scenes if that's going to be the case. Can I do shift 1? I cannot. And I can't do alt 1. I might be able to do alt 1. Give me a little smiley face, but hopefully that'll work. So how's everybody doing today? You're fine. It's not that big of a deal. Just switch some hotkeys around. Look, live technical difficulties. Whoa! That was wild. All right. Yep. Oh, it will work. There we go. They're enjoying his birthday. Yeah, I didn't say happy birthday. I'm sorry. Fucking inconsiderate asshole that I am. Happy birthday, by the way. I saw that was in chat before I started going. Happy student birthday, I suppose. Wait, I should load. I should load. Hang on. All right, let's hit the town. History's everywhere. All right, rapid clicking time. I'm loving this. This is a lot of fun. I've missed playing through Befriendus. I really missed this. This is so good. Oh, hey, in the chat real quick, what's the... did y'all have a keybind for removing the, I guess maybe I could just find it elsewhere. I don't know. It's removing the text boxes, because I like looking at the sprites sometimes. Can I take a look? I did yes last time, right? Oh, shit, I don't remember. Yeah, I said yes. That sounds like a bad idea. Let's do no. H. Isn't it H? Okay, cool. It is H. Because look at this. I want to appreciate the whole thing. It's so good. I love it. It's so good. All right. Anyway, can I take a look? No. You redirect. It really, really is okay, you tell Aranea. You know what might help you calm down, though? Really, sincerely? A break. No. A story. It's so good. Look at this. Everything's so good. The background's amazing. The sprites are amazing. You're just kind of stressed, and clearing your head seems like a really good idea. And what was the story Aranea was getting at earlier? The Armageddon? Aranea is suspicious of the obvious deflection. She's a mind reader. You're not a very good liar. Both of those things combined really just fucking throws the whole thing out the window, doesn't it? But she allows it. It's your choice-based narrative, you guess. The Armageddon. Beforus was in the advent of its interplanetary expansion, and it was ravenous. Thank you for the follow, Mochi Piecer. Thank you so much. The little Bulbasaur thing, right? The little Bulbasaur thing. But Beforus was in the advent of its interplanetary expansion, and it was ravenous. Her impassioned conservation would inherit an expansionist military force in its grubhood, grind it forcibly to stagnation, and be presented with a choice. Would that stagnation be an endless winter, waiting for the ground to thaw and release the same undeveloped mass, or would it be a pupation? The forces that would become known as the Royal Befriend Offworld Fleet, or the Urboff, underwent a period of massive reformation and subsequent upheaval, and, some say, even insurrection. There's no evidence to support that, of course. What there is evidence to support is a secession. Look at this! It's just... I love... They're so cute. I love them. is a secession. The SS Armageddon... Alright, Armageddon. I've been reading it wrong. Armageddon, built in the 19th century BHIC, was a quad-psionic armed dreadnought tasked with the colonization of a more lethal era. Its crew were accustomed to a degree of brutality we shudder at now, but contemporary accounts agree post-conservation Befriends aren't the only ones shuddering. Historical context is key. One could fill an entire book hive with conflicting attempts to rack up its body count, and to debate its more grotesque stories, trophies taken, aliens grafted into ship walls, just to see if they could. So when ship dropped off the map, you have to understand it was something of a folk legend. Today we mourn the loss in passing, a subject for Wiggler's first historical novels and romances doomed by their violent time, but a more rigid analysis of logs written before the vessel's disappearance reveals an atmosphere of dissent and distrust. What incomplete records we still have note the precise second mechanical failure sent autopilot offline before the tragedy, but a journal log from not 10 minutes after the autopilot system's failure unveils a different story. The log is a humble, overlooked account from one of the ship's youngest engineers, but it's also the only primary source written while the ship's systems were failing. Picture this. You're in the midst of a catastrophic failure. The sharp pink blare of alarms on the walls betray the simplest notion of doom, every mechanical reading offering an even worse story still. I'm glad you like them, Shade. A captain or his bridge crew might be able to preserve denial. A humble engineer like our primary narrator, the journaler of the Armageddon's last written log, wouldn't be so lucky. And yet, even with those mechanical readings that this quiet engineer knew would mean banishment to outer space unaided, the writings show no sign of anxiety. Even I don't write 10 pages when I'm in a rush. Most notable of all, assumptions made about the time of the disappearance relative to the Befriend mainland are unfounded. No references are made to the conserve herself, but we're aware of one last FTL leap was made before the tragedy. Incoming communications to the ship after that last leap have been lost or destroyed. Though there's a historical consensus placing their exit from that leap of on a pre-conservation timeline, I argue it's unfounded. Wow! So what's your theory, that they would rather fuck off and live out their days in space than bow to the new Empress? I think they're still out there. You had forgotten the absolutely massive lifespans of higher-blooded trolls.
Her impassioned conservation has to pick and choose her battles, of course. And while we're all enamored with a good thriller, the point of the report wasn't theatrics and intrigue.
The point might not have been theatrics or intrigue, but you're stuck wordless by both of them. And then Aranea goes apologetic, as if finally coming back to her senses. You nip that in the bud and as hastily as you can, with profuse and slightly excessive thanks. This info dump, even if it was born of your transparent deflection, turned out to be an illuminating experience for you. That's the kind of thing you want to be, a single engineer unveiling the fate of their crew, an unassuming entry point into Earth itself. And she's so practiced at that. This is the kind of product Aranea just churns out, with these tiny research threads, with the records of a single person. That's the skill that her report should get to showcase. You want to help her shine. This requires a little more research, you decide. And besides, you really want to see that gleam in Aranea's eyes again. So you ask her, playing up the curiosity in your voice, the question totally earnest. Gee, how do you learn all this stuff about historiogratiating? Historiogratiating. What is the purpose of a storyteller? You say like it's your own question, not one pulled from her mouth, if the story is the same with or without us. Aranea lights up.
To preserve it. Historiogratiation, by the way. All kinds of people every night are out there doing things that matter. You and I are doing something that matters right now. But it's the chroniclers among us, those willing to document the moment and investigate the past, that lend it weight. Historiogratiate's heart is one that looks out to the world and sees legacies that deserve to last. The most important part isn't the story to be told, of course. The most important part is that someone, thousands of someones, got us where we are today. The architects of the past are usually regarded as less important than the architecture, but we'll always need someone to tell it. And I'm content with that being my legacy, not as the hero on the page, but as the humble researcher, like the foundation of the hive, unseen, passing that story forward, digging up the actual unknown or previously deemed unworthy protagonists and dusting them off. The rest of the universe may have forgotten our mechanical engineer, but we haven't. And thanks to our work behind the scenes, credit is given where it's due. We keep these things alive.
You take a pause. You let the importance of it fill your can-shaped chest. I like the way you acknowledge that that MSPA R is just kind of tube-shaped. I'm ready, you tell Aranea. She proffers the tape recorder once more, and this time, even its rewinding squelch can't shake your conviction. I should have saved that. Yes, I just realized I'm a fucking fool. Aranea clicks you presume to be record. She has you state for the record your planet of origin one more time. She even describes you, briefly, your physical appearance.
Start with whatever you would like.
You begin clearing your throat. It's difficult to qualify or quantify life on Earth. Every day seems to wallop you over the head slightly more than the last, and every friendship reminds you how much you have to learn slightly more than the last. And, in that, it's not very different from Beforus at all. It's not very different from any planet you've visited. Alternia is a sidetrack existential crisis for another day. You've chosen your battles. But as you reflect... fucking, yeah. But as you reflect on your time under your home planet's blue sky, certain themes bring themselves forward. Universal, unshakable themes. The ones that make you in this story. And the first you declare is the Postal Service. Ah, the lifeblood of democracy. Aranea stops to question you here, and you define democracy. The pinnacle of human achievements. Rain or shine, through hail and thunderstorms alike, from Sacramento to Cincinnati, the Postal Service can be relied upon to unite humankind. Discussion of the Postal Service brings you naturally into transportation. Hot rods and mom vans are how much dust they're able to kick up in the commercials. Your city / towns / villages areas level or lack of public transportation. Next, the latter of which is apparently a baffling problem to a Befrin. You talk about used car salesmen, the corgi craze, how 3D movies are better now than, that they aren't made to sell the idea that they would make a really good roller coaster. Fast fashion. Fashion, that's good, you can riff on that. Fashion, that's good, you can riff on that. Is this a multimedia presentation? Aranea tilts her head at you.
There's no rule against it.
You ask for materials to make props. Oh, this is the good ending, isn't it? This is the good ending, isn't it? Damn it. The tape recorder is set neatly on the desk as the two of you get to work. Fabric and cardboard spread out in front of you. Aranea makes lists and notes and graphs. You construct plushed yellow scrunchies and cardboard times, and those socks with the little marijuanas on them. I like that marijuanas is pluralized. Hydro flasks? Weren't there hydro flasks? Is that a human word and not a troll one? You'd be goggling what month hydro flasks started to be a thing and what month you left Earth for this befriending adventure if any of those words meant anything from here. The hurricane grows, the fruits of your labor spread around you, and slowly, everything starts to feel... What's wrong?
You know her eyes are on you, but you can't yet look back.
Oh, excuse me.
Your eyes are cast out over the sea of props in front of you, your skin crawling under the recycled, poorly stitched yoga pants you've cut out of an old dress. This isn't Earth, is it? This isn't even the SparkNotes primer. But you don't understand. What happened to every single artifact opening up a world? What happened to every person being the final missing puzzle piece? Darn it all, you only had to be a believable every them for one more night. You couldn't even give Aranea that. Maybe this is the bad one. I don't know. There's no need to lose hope over that. It must sound so banal. I never know how to pronounce this word. Banal? Banal to you. But it's this kind of esoterica that brings society into living color for those of us consigned to absorb it second or third hand. You're doing a good job. We're going for something authentic. No, that's just it. These aren't authentic artifacts of you, are they? Maybe 2 of them are, or a handful, but for the most part, the scattered wreckage of your project around you doesn't look like you at all. It looks like a disaster. Well, I mean, to be fair. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I might have to try that whenever I come across another word that I don't know what it is. It looks like a disaster, like a middle-aged non-parent trying to shop for a teenager. Like a disconnected writer trying to distill the most relatable reader experience into increasingly bite-sized portions, but the minute you try to nail it down, the further away from you it spirals. Earth is complicated and messy and broader than this, you try to explain. Hell, come to think of it, you're not even sure your beloved male is universal, let alone democracy. You were just so inspired after hearing Aranea's work, the tales she weaves together from little clues, an entire tidy narrative made out of one mechanical engineer or 2 people sitting by a book hive. What does she know that you don't, right? What's that key she's got? How does she take one person and spin them into a perfect, efficient history? And the worst part is, maybe it wasn't a surprise. Maybe you've been hating this, cringing at it a little all along, just going through the motions because they're what's happening. Maybe what isn't relatable is the text scroll right now. You're definitely feeling something, but whatever that something is right now, sitting in Aranea's hive, you're not sure you're ready to try to voice it. The good news is, it is sitting in Aranea's hive.
What? What? You say?
She taps her temple. Right. You don't need to lose faith in yourself. Actually, I was very close to filling out something of a full ethnography. No, you say, carefully but firmly. No, you'll need to find something else. Maybe it can be as narratively complex as she was hoping for. Sigh. It looks like this is a special case. You deliver a gentle but knowing look. It looks like we might have uncovered something about how his stories work, even if just yours. But we do still have a project.
You do?
I don't know. Does interrogating eyewitness alien narratives as an entry point for long-term study, a framework for investigation, sound like a project to you?
Wow, it's got a lot of words in it. That's a long-ass title.
Not to praise us too highly, but we did spend the night wrangling with one of the oldest, still unsolved dilemmas in the field of interplanetary relations. With labors of love, it's easy to get entangled in the product. And in that entanglement, forget what we love to begin with. The process. We aren't people who finish things, aren't we? We're not the doers.
Well, hang on, Aranea. This self-concept might be unreasonable. Sure, she's not the architect of history, she's the teller, but didn't you make something worth telling right now? If you're not mistaken, isn't the new shape of this project a retelling of this bit in her life, this search? That's got to mean hers is as worthy of telling, which doesn't make her any less of a perfect historia gratiate. It might make her a better one, you suggest gently. After all, there's no use burning out here behind the scenes. A little self-honesty never hurt anybody.
Well, let's not dwell on the details, but I'm flattered. Now, as one anecdotal source, how would you try to define my interview tactics, just to the best of your ability?
Friends, a novel concept. You found nerd shit. Boring, but better. Victory. Oh, I got it. Oh, this is so cute. This art is so good. I love it. Well, balls. Well, balls. Now we need to go fuck it up. All right, let's hit the town. History is everywhere. Damn. Of course I'm gonna fuck it up. Is there anything more iconic of this fucking channel than me getting the right ending when I'm not trying to? Come on. Speed it up, Aranea. You lost power. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot what that was. All right, I'm gonna save here because I'm a fool. Even though I should, in theory, fuck it up this time. I'm looking. What's up? Did I do the other ones? Is it the first choice? Hold on. What? What'd I do? What'd I do? The first choice screen. Okay, hang on. We're just gonna do this. Don't worry. We got it. We're on it. We're on it. We're on it. We're on it. We'll speedrun this. We'll speedrun this. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, we're on it. We're on it. We're on it. You hear those clicks? You hear those furious clicks? I mean, I've saved over the save. So I need to get back to the first choice. All right. Guide me. What the fuck? Hold on. Time out. What did I just do? I did it. I did it. I'm the best gamer. I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.
What's that?
Aranea points to the huge leathery tome in your arms. Scorpina's journal. The journal that is Scorpina's. The journal belongs to Scorpina. Scorpina's journal. That journal? Oh, this old thing? You say as if you would never have been tugging the spoils of your exploration around Mina's hive up to your chest into her view on purpose. Wait, on second thought... Wait, hang on, what? Oh, you just clips? Just some old thing to carry around, you explain? Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, were you being obtrusive about it? Just shifting your grip, it was getting heavy. Hey, you know, real casually, isn't that kind of like Aranea's sign on the cover there? There's something there. I think, where did you get this? The narrative winds you neatly through answering that sticky question, because remember, and this is crucial, you've been winning. Oh yeah, Mina had someone send it to me in gratitude, you say. She thought it seemed like the kind of boring lore dump bonanza you might like. Someone must have dug it up while she was bossing people around to send up the rest of her stuff. You know, because she needs more stuff. Even if there had been, like, food in those hastily packed suitcases, you've still summarily destroyed the only pre-existing structure on the moon. At least as far as your eyes could see. She's sort of hiveless right now. You kind of expected Aranea to be more concerned about Mina's current standard of living, but you can only guess that zeroing in on the book overrode all of the senses, and she straight up didn't hear you. She's leafing through the journal very quickly, but in a way indicative of someone with a reverence for books. You make a mental note to never bend back spines or dog-ear pages in her vicinity. She stops to study one particular page, with her finger pressed down against one line and her eyebrows drawn together in a pout. She's so bored. I don't understand. To have taken an archivist oath and spend every night one's gifted behind one's desk, let alone out in the field, sitting around whining. To be gifted with a storyteller's lilt, a style and flourish that decorates the scene perfectly, and to decorate it with boredom. To be due to her genetic gift, granted insights into a court case so controversial I've never heard of it, and resent it because it was jury duty. Aranea flips back a few pages to get context. You wince and suggest that maybe she doesn't do that. How utterly sick I am of being sentenced. Oh boy, it must be a prank! Ah, Mina and her pranks! Aranea is on what appears to be one of those horrible troll phones, though her hand is clamped firmly around all of its oily parts, which you appreciate. Those horrible troll phones. She dials up someone she's got saved, and a glimpse their contact's photo confirms to you who it might be. Your friend Mina. She's grinning fiercely here and has her arm thrown around Aranea's shoulders, nearly lifting her off the ground. Okay, first of all, aww. No, wait, this is bad. Got it. Okay, got it. Friend bribery success rate 0%. Oh. Well, damn. All right. Well, that's Aranea's. God, I loved that. That was so much fun. I love it. Now we need to Porrim. Oh man, I'm excited. Why do they call it a horse off when you horse on ride the race? Horse off trophy win the race. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. Like the clickable object at the end of patch goes, yeah, no, I got that. I got you. I saw it pop up like a half second as it was happening, and I was like, wait, what happened? All right, let's get on to Porrims. Volume 4, Do You Know What I Am? I don't remember Porrim's voice at all, so this is gonna be fun.
You are the only being in the universe who could fuck up a simple stroll around the block. Well, maybe it is more than a block. You've been so busy being an enabling angel on your new friends' shoulders that you have yet to find an opportunity to process the world around you, to decompress. You hadn't meant to go far into the neighboring woods, and you thought you would only get a good mile in before you planned to head back. You just figured stretching the shapely gams never hurt. They are shapely, and neither did witnessing the expanse of this planet's surrounding ecosystems. As such, you left Aranea's place momentarily to breathe in some good old-fashioned air. I love that good old-fashioned air. It's a good way to clear your head, too, helping runaway princesses, providing taxing emotional support. Homework? Sometimes it's nice to just stop and smell the roses. However, luck would have that the tree you've leaned on for a moment's rest doesn't seem fond of any close-range sniffing of its brushy limbs. Something prehensile and prickly slithers across your arm like a snake, burning as it pierces through your sleeve. Ooh! Yelping, you dislodge yourself from falling ass first as the hoodie rips. No, not the hoodie! And bolt up to immediately flee. The pricks on your forearm burn as you hurry back whence you came. Did that vine move? Was that a breeze? Now that you think about it, a lot of things seem to move in this forest foliage. I like that, forest foliage. Stems pulse, vegetation shudders, and there is not an ounce of wind to justify the low hissing in the air. You hurry past a giant Venus flytrap. It's frightfully silly. You heard that plants could breathe and grass could scream, but it better not start singing at you. The upturned prongs of its mouth and the predatory curl of its leaves are already a lot. Ooh. Yeah. God, it's so chill. I love it. At least, you think they were curling? The pain in your arm is accompanied by a dizziness in your vision. Fuck, this is concerning. I read that as this is occurring, and I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Idiot. Fuck, this is concerning. Alien ivy is different enough to not be poisonous, right? Actually, you could say the same for any ivy. Venom and poison are the same thing, duh. The state of wonder your mind is tossed into is dizzying. Or maybe you're just flat out fucking dizzy. This may be another golden opportunity to choose whether or not you end up dying like a loser out here. It would take too long to keep going, judging by the dull throb in your arm and how you are starting to feel sluggish. Your legs, despite being sturdy as hell to get you here, feel like they're sinking in mud. Curiosity always seems to be your largest liability. Extract the venom, teleport back for help. Let's teleport back for help. That seems like a bad idea. I feel like this seems like the bad option. Let's go with that. Teleport back for help. With your woozy... Wait, no, I'm probably going to teleport to Porrim accidentally. Shit. With your woozy concentration, you focus as hard as you can and close your eyes, choosing to teleport back. Or at least you hope. Yep, son of a bitch! Why am I simultaneously an idiot and too damn smart? Fuck! Instead of the familiarity of asphalt, you're standing in grass, having succeeded in space hopping deeper into the forest bowels. Okay, trying to use your powers with toxins swimming through you was probably the worst decision. In fact, it's only made you more nauseated. As you slouch down, the bed of grass only tempts you to close your eyes as the energy further depletes from your veins. Fuck, this isn't good. You concentrate on your own breathing, sparkling black dancing at the corners of your vision. Damn it, maybe you should have just waited for Aranea's return back at the hive. There she is. As you feel yourself losing consciousness, you notice, you think, a figure that you hadn't seen before growing nearer. The moonlit sky above blankets it with a dark silhouette, but you can only stare as it approaches, the nocturnal glint of eyes stilling your blood further. Hell, are you seriously about to get eaten by some kind of Befriend cryptid in the midst of a poisoning? That's embarrassing. Well, that's embarrassing. I love it. You don't have time to let out more than a pitiful groan of fear before your body sulks. Everything goes black. Ooh. Oh, and the fire actually glows. Oh, I love it. When you wake up, you're not dead. Number one, good. You know the feeling well by this point. Though you aren't greeted by a ceiling of trees, you're seeing stars in the most literal sense above you. Fuck, did you fall into some kind of spatial purgatory again? No, space is usually a floating emptiness and not a hard ground against your back. You spot a patch of light and hear a tapping that tells you that your hunch is wrong. Turning your head, you have two reactions. At first, you assume that whatever creature you found before you passed out, had dragged you here to save your death's dignity in the form of a feast, a pity platter.
The second reaction is a realization, when you recognize the shape of troll horns, a bipedal hunch, and tapping that resembles frantic typing. Huh? What? Or rather, who, actually? You lean up quietly, not wanting to draw attention to yourself just yet, but the jelly in your arms causes you to fall back with an obnoxious thump and yelp against the dirt. Damn, you hope that didn't startle them. Oh! Oh no! Oh, I love it! The jade blood jumps and swerves to face you, startled. If trolls had retractable claws, hers would be unsheathed, but her expression falters upon discovering it was just the whelp she had dragged in earlier. The reaction was more skittish than aggressive, you notice, and she quickly shields herself with a stoic aura, clearing her throat. Oh yeah! Oh, it's time to get funky! Oh. Oh. Oh, I love it! Okay, and remember Porrim's voice. Hello, you. You're finally awake. Not to coddle you, but... not to coddle, but... Are you alright? Who is she? Who are you? Oh, man! Gah! I love it. I love her sprite so much. The suspicion in her voice would cut through glass, and you quickly tell her your name, a little dumbfounded by the whiplash as she nods. Thanks. My name is Porrim. I personally don't know you, so getting your identity first makes it a little more balanced. Also, teleporting in front of my spot and promptly passing out didn't help with the ambiguity. Though, I only dragged you in so you wouldn't stir up any unwanted attention with me nearby, and not because it was a sorry sight, no. She has Grease vibes, he really does. Aranea did tell me you're cool, so I guess I have nothing to worry about. She can be right to an extent. Sometimes. Oh, she knows Aranea? Porrim motions to the palm husk in her hand as if reading your thoughts. You're not from here. That is to say, not from this world. My concern is focused elsewhere as someone who actually inhabits this planet and its problems, though I do pity your situation and the struggle that comes with being an outsider. Consider this a short stop while I have the free time, or at least until the venom stops attacking your bloodstream. Oh yeah, you did get a pretty bite, didn't you? You happen to notice your hoodie gone, a length of gauze over your arm, and a medicine kit nearby. The limb is tender, but the tingling feels a tad different, as if something has been added on. Or in. Ugh. Did she help you? Oh wait, of course she did. You didn't just happen to bandage yourself unconscious, though that would be an awesome survival ability. Just side note, that'd have been fucking rad. You give Porrim a hearty thanks. She didn't have to do all that, but it was very nice of her. Her eyes widen for a second at the gratitude before she turns to face the cavern entrance. Good, get out. Don't think too much into it. I'm not a beast, I'm only doing what I know. What I was taught. Of my own accord. She clears her throat. I happen to have supplies on me for medical emergencies, so I put my skills to use. It was of my own autonomy. I do what I want. That is what I'm saying. Okay. You give her a bit of a look, but don't question her about it, instead choosing to ask about the elephant in the room. Or rather, the jade in the cave. It's my favorite children's book. What an interesting setup. You're sure the rent is dirt cheap, but why is she living it up in here? Dirt cheap, huh? He had to slide that one in. It's not even a cavernous cave like ones that jades usually live in. It looks more like she's getting ready for hibernation, or trying to live like electricity isn't a short trail away. This is a temporary setup. I'm traveling. Away. While I would love to have a more luxurious stay, I can't exactly be finicky about my pit stops, even if they are literal pits. Traveling? Like on a trip? Oh man, I love trips! Or not. She's scrunching her nose at your poor answer. Okay. You've perhaps not been here for too long, but I'd at least assume that you're acquainted with the caste norms and the things we're usually involved with. Oh yeah, jades take care of other trolls, right? The smaller ones that have multiple legs in a horrifyingly cute way. And they get to metamorph in a sticky cave with big animals to take care of them after going through some kind of life or death trials. Okay, you're losing her. That first half is passable. We do take care of grubs and wigglers before they're sent on their way. That is our current mandated agenda in life. Oh yeah, you do that too. Jades are really cut for the hard work and duties they achieve. Oh, wait, she's staring at you extra hard now. Is your face paling again, or are you just bad with assumptions? Can I get any paler? I don't think you know. I don't think you do know. Your thoughts seem to come from the pluses are really messing with me.
seem to come from a textbook. What you think I'm cut out for is simply tailored by crooked hands. Well, you appreciate the wordplay, but you don't think you'll follow. Getting the obvious isn't really your style, though you are slowly putting two and two together. Aranea and Beforus play by different rules. Less murder, more hugs. Or like passive-aggressive hand-holding. However, this isn't the first time, nor even the third, that you've encountered a Jade outside of the caverns for a sneaky reason. Parties, conventions, bars, it usually hasn't been allowed casually. Those, at least, were fun, but Porrim seems a little worn. You notice the bags around the den's floor, and how many seem to be from more than a simple camping trip. I'm good. It just takes me a second to get used to quirks. Time for another one of your famous hunches. Also, I'm stubborn as fuck, so I'll leave it on the whole way just for the full experience. Is she going away from the caverns? In like a running sense. Bingo. The light bulb in your head finally flickers. God, look at the sprite. It's so good. I do admit, you make it tantalizing to spill my guts to someone I just met. Then again, you don't know me, and you seem harmless and not at all intimidating. So it's not like I have much to socially defend, provided you don't snitch to someone else about this, or we will both have our respective guts spilled. Yeah, you're totally trusty. You mean it. Frankly, you'd rather your guts stay in, even if this child didn't frighten you this much. You're also a bit curious about the alternate reality of a cast you haven't even asked many questions about before. For someone eyeing you with constant suspicion, she sure is comfortable with the opportunity to go off, though it seems that she has plenty to say, plenty to hide, if this occasion is anything to go by, and enough frustrations threatening to boil up. You weren't a therapist friend, or even a regular friend, yet, but perhaps your marshmallowy contour is inviting enough when it comes to venting to a stranger. Marshmallowy. I love it. Porrim stares at you for a moment more, probably to make sure she isn't about to chatter at a wall instead. Well, if you're lending your ear, I suppose I may spoil myself with an audience. Humming a pleased hum, she falters while gathering words, like a graduate's pregnant pause on a podium. I warn you that I'm only sharing a fraction of what deserves to be told, and there is a lot to say, though you did ask me. Just speak up if I go a bit fast. She exhales, and you lean in to show your fullest attention as she recites what sounds like something she'd practiced for. Her hands busy themselves with your hoodie and a sewing kit from one of the unpacked bags. Jades are a cluster of rich, beautiful emeralds that guide Befriendus society. Without them, we would lose the most important hands that lead our young ones through the beginning of life and continue the cycle of our existence. Our lovely caretakers of the mother grub and troll kind. Her needle symphonies the air as if she were mimicking a voice that she did not care to remember seriously, before one hand rests on her forehead. On paper, that'd make anyone feel charmed, but one knows that those who gawk at jewels only see them as one thing at the end of the night. Accessories that benefit those who own them, shiny objects and their usages complementing the power and ego of wealthy thrones. Hi, baby. What's up? The sarcasm that reaches the end of her sentence bubbles up like bile on her disgusted face. Porrim clears her throat before she continues. What do you want, baby? What is it, sweet pea? What is it, sweetheart? Let's back this up. Maybe we can get a better view of you if I back it up a bit. Whoop. There we go. There's a tulip. What's up, baby? What are you doing, huh? You want to come hang out for a bit? Oh, you're getting a treat from Dawn. Thank Dawn for the treat. Hang on. No, you stay over here, baby. Goodness gracious. Good girl. Hang on. There we go. Here you go. Munch, crunch. Good girl. Just get the one. Otherwise you get chunky, and the mom gets mad. Not mad necessarily, but you do get chunky. Yes, you do. My chunky girl. Yes, you are. All right, let's get back to it. Aranea bot knows what's up. Is Tulip a good girl? Yes, just a simple yes. All right, let's back to it. The sarcasm that reaches the end of her sentence bubbles up like bile on her disgusted face. Porrim clears her throat before she continues. Perhaps I should stop being so poetic about it.
The trite thing I quoted? Notice how we don't truly stand out aside from how our helping hands are able to benefit the reproduction and preparation of those who tell us how to live our lives. CIPs take advantage of what we're able to do for them, what with our caste connection to the mother grub. Oh, you're new. That's cerulean, indigo, and purple. Oh, okay. The only reason we aren't... Oh my gosh! Angry! Oh, I love it. The only reason we aren't lower on the spectrum is because they need us to believe that we're well off enough with some kind of equal trade. Oh, man. Oh, I love these sprites. She smiles tight and angry. You notice how tense the atmosphere is as she gets into what seems like a bad time. Well, we're gonna have a bad time. Boom, political commentary, right? It's quite revolting, really. They see our caste and think, huh, they sure are connected to the one who keeps our system continuously flowing. Let's tell them this so they keep breeding a ratio of trolls that will continue to keep up our hierarchy, and that their similarities to the Empress means there's no power play. The Empress, a woman of fine royalty, is the ruler. The Mother Grub, a female cavern dweller, keeps our species going. Surely these castes of women have no reason to act as if they're somehow getting the short end of the stick when they're all so respected. And as a caste primarily of men who dominate societal law, let's tell others what they want to hear. Their authoritative capabilities are an equal trade in exchange for doing what we say. She hisses softly, jerking her finger up as she waves it. Oh shit, she was really going at it. Is she okay? I'm fine. Sorry. Perhaps when I get into one of my rants, I shouldn't be playing with sharp things so casually, or sound like I'm prepping for an angry think piece on Chitter, and I sound like Cankry. He'd be so smug after accusing me of plagiarism. But yes, it's all faulty. Rancid garbage. Oh, Green, you did hydrate? I didn't see the guy hydrate. Thanks, Trixie. I can't go and be sad. I didn't have time to make tea today. I was rushing really fast. I had to go pick up Tulip's flea medication before streaming. So I had to go to the vet and get that real quick. I got here at like noon, which is why the stream was so late. I know. I'm sorry. I'll take another one to make up for it. I'm sorry. I didn't have time. I didn't have time to make it. She clears her throat again, this time trying to search for words that don't fluster her. You wonder if she's ever actually talked to someone so thoroughly about these thoughts, or if she's practicing on someone who is willing to listen. For one, some of us don't associate our identity with the Mother Grub. It's incredibly detrollizing, like dehumanizing, and debunks the entire idea that we all benefit because women run the planet, though they tend to dismiss us in multiple ways. Failed step one. Second, if we had any say in our lives, I wouldn't be here. I tried to change things from the inside, to speak on things that only so many of us dare to think. Perhaps we can educate Wigglers in a supportive way, instead of teaching them that society isn't going to wait up while consistently dragging their hand, I said. Perhaps Jades could still live their own lives, and they are mandated to always stay in the cage to benefit the overrule. Maybe, just maybe, a Jade's purpose isn't to live and create for others, but to live for themselves, that our connection to the Mother Grub belongs to us and no one else. I was then accused of thinking our entire species should be neglected and thus destroyed, or that I was trying to send Wigglers a bad message for tampering with the importance of Jadehood instead of being a good little hive minder. So, ironically, instead of letting me in closer to my own caste, they shooed me away until I came to my senses. She makes eye contact with you. Aww. So I ran the fuck away instead. You glance at the ground between the both of you, and you can tell Porrim copies you to avoid staring, lost in thought. You're certainly going with the former for yourself, though you are taking her words with seriousness. What a terrible situation! You knew that something was a bit off about the caverns from the few times you scuttled in, but it was different hearing it from a Jade who wasn't against dissecting its societal flaws like a universal frog. Then again, that was Alternia, not Beforus. You tried to not venture too far into thought of how Porrim's opinions would fare with someone like Branya, or how they potentially intersect with the rebellious nature of Daria and Lonk. Porrim's expression is suddenly awkward, her words faltering subtly. I apologize for rambling. After waking up in a tizzy, you're not exactly looking to tend to another panache. There's hesitation, but this time she looks more unsure of herself than you, as if talking off the cuff about the oppression of systematic mothering to her medical patient wasn't as productive as it was ironic.
Well, you aren't opposed to listening, even if you are comprehending her words without having much power to do anything yourself. She looks like she has more to say anyways. Of what, though? You sit up a little straighter so she knows you're at full attention, ignoring how your arm screams for mercy. I'm actually a bit of a hypocrite, you know? What? I lied about why I dragged you in here. God, this facial expressions are so good. I love them. Well, yes, you could absolutely get me caught. I could have just kept moving, but I would have felt awful about leaving you there. You were hurt and exposed to the elements. If you didn't die from injury, a drone would have found you, sometimes a fate worse than death. I figured I would have entertained the idea of someone helping me if the roles were switched. I suppose it's a fault of mine. I can never tell whether I'm acting on my own accord, or if it's something embedded in my pan since I've only been taught to care. Like, I don't mind helping others in a way that works, but I don't even know if it works, if it's actually me personally saying that. I almost feel like I'm against myself for helping you. No offense. Oh, absolutely not. And you're not just saying that because you can actually tell up from down now. There's no reason to feel bad for having some basic empathy for someone, even if you don't know them. If the roles were indeed switched, you would have absolutely been more than happy to help her. Plus, you're absolutely stoked that you didn't end up decomposing off camera. Oh, I love it. Porrim gives a bit of a snort, so you take that as a small win. On the inside, you're trying to not think too hard about how fucked troll planets are and their habit of leaving all these kids to grow up before they've even lived. You can't imagine, however much doubt Porrim has been wrestling with, but you continue to try and reassure her. Caring versus coddling has left a clusterfuck of gray areas, but if she's willing to think more about this kind of stuff than her squad, then there has to be some nuance there. You think that an idea like hers can have multiple faucets. Facets, actually. Well, it's assuring that I'm possibly not talking out of my ass. That a pusher isn't a burden. I just wish things were different. With everything, really. The world would be way better if it could understand that I don't want to help others because it's my job. I do it because I choose to. A duty is different from a labor of love. You wish you had the ability to help. In the very least, you can relate to living on a planet that decorates itself as a utopia. At least Porrim seems to have a plan. Now that you think about it, you wonder what exactly that plan is. Oh, yeah, it's pretty simple. I stay in hiding in a friend's place while I figure out how to spread awareness. I don't do a lot of blogging, but I heard it's a great platform for reaching many eyes across the planet. So basically, what the there's basically a different version of the sufferer, or the signless. Excuse me, I keep calling him the sufferer. Plus, a little uproar in Beforus' streets isn't that much of a stretch. Instead of echoing in the caves, I could raise awareness to the Empress directly about how her placitators, keep abusing their powers. It's always worth a try, clever plotting in the right time of day, or night. Time, day, night. Wait, what time is it? How long were you passed out for? Porrim blinks, looking a little surprised by the sudden question. Oh, some hours? You were pretty out of it since I found you early in the night. It's probably close to dawn. Oh, damn! Oh, damn! You had no idea you were loitering for that long. Is being passed out from plant venom loitering? I don't know about that. You had no idea you were loitering for that long. She was really generous for taking time out of her schedule to nurse you back to something manageable. Health is a stretch. As much as it's been helpful, though, for either of you, it clearly has been eating up a lot of Porrim's time. She didn't seem like she was okay with it to a degree, and your bruised arm and heavy skull want to agree. After you leave, you aren't entirely sure how long it'll be till she meets up with one of her pals, but she also seems prepared for, well, a lot. Taking care of you puts a pause on things. It's also risky. If she's out on the run, then how long can she stay in one area? The last thing you want to do is have her discovered because you're taking advantage of her charity. Is everything all right? Was the blog idea a little too much? Oh, looks like she's expecting you to say something instead of staring in her general direction like a beady owl. Oh boy. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh no, what's the bad one? Oh no, are we gonna get the good one? Stay until night or leave in the morning? Okay. MSPA Reader feels like it's a bad idea to stay, because, Porrim can get caught. But if we leave in the morning, that doesn't make any sense. The sun will fucking cook you. That seems like the easy kill. That seems like... But this seems like it'll keep her here for too long. Ah, shit. Fuck.
I'm gonna commit to one. This one. Leave in the morning. There's no need to burden her with your presence. I'm deliberately not looking at chat. Deliberately wanted to just go with what I have. However I fuck this up, at least it's my fuck up. There's no need to burden her with your presence. Clearly, she has some things to work out, and you're merely using up her time. You tell Porrim that leaving by the morning seems to be in her best interest. Her brow furrows. The look she gives you seems despondent, which you hadn't expected until you realize your faulty timing. I know the idea of a mob was intimidating, though I didn't expect the idea alone was going to scare you off. Oh! Damn it! Oh shit, Shade. I'm sorry. Oh, damn it, right. She just spilled her guts to you about all this condensed trauma, and your first response was to say you're going to dip upon actual action? Well, you never realize how much of a jackass you can come across as. That's fair, okay. You fumble a bit trying to find words to clear the air and blame your horrible habit of inner monologues, but she talks faster. No, it's fine. I'm sure with how you were faring before that, you'll make it without a hitch in the Befriend heat. What a carefully constructed plan. You stare at her, trying to figure out if she's being serious or not. Porrim seems to note the confusion and gives you a tired scowl. You do know what sarcasm is, correct? Ah. She's cross with you, huffing through her nose before she lifts herself up, her face between annoyed and crestfallen. Weary. I'm going to search for a few more supplies for night, so I may head out by tomorrow. I'll make sure I'm no hindrance on your time after that point. As she walks away, she pauses before you can speak out to try and settle the miscommunication. Your hand outstretched before she glances down at the rocks with uncertainty. I'm regretful if I come off as overbearing this dusk. Sleep well. She passes by what seems to be your hoodie, folded neatly from before you had woken up, though the tears from your previous assault are stark and ugly. You sigh as you reach for it and get dressed back into the worn thing. Seems like you totally botched a close moment. Morning peeks through the curtain of the blue stem grass guarding the cave mouth. In the belly of Porrim's hideout, you two have been awake for only a good hour, the Jade's things packed before you were conscious. She is currently finishing up whatever assorted breakfast bar she had stored in her bag, staring at the campfire between her and you. It's dying, a tail of smoke and specks of heat of a phoenix flame that could have arisen anew, if prompted. Ooh, that was poetic, that was nice. You stare at it too, occasionally glancing around the cave as you slip into your hoodie again. The holes in the fabric cause a bit of a draft as the silence thickens like molasses around the two of you. Hey. Thanks for hearing me out before. I don't really go off like that often. If my drawn-out sentences didn't give it away. I know that my views may come off as daft to those who don't know me, but you at least heard me through. That's more than I've been granted in all my sweeps, daft. So is she actually like British? If you ever feel like it, don't be coy when it comes to talking off my hearing duct just as much. Oh, phew, okay. You relax a little and give her a confident salute. That you will do. You love yapping it up, even if just to fill for time. You're glad that Porrim doesn't look mad at you anymore, though she still wears a bittersweet expression. Tired and probably ready to move on from what is basically a home for moles. She acknowledges your response with another nod before clearing her throat, the anxiety momentarily diminished as she speaks unabashedly. Are you able to stand? Walk even? Probably not, but you can try. Doubt it, but we're gonna try it, damn it. You do, and miraculously, you don't fall back and crack your head even as the blood rush prompts you to lean on a wall for support. Are you good? Your hoodie is torn up, poisoned body patched up by a 6-week bulb, and you're blinking away spots. With something that feels like it could lose itself if you flex too fast, you give her a thumbs up. She doesn't seem convinced in the slightest, but she gives a few flat sounds of laughter. Right. Well, you do know yourself more than I do. Hopefully the odd powers you have align themselves. Well, only way to find out. Stepping back, you take a deep breath, Porrim raising her eyebrows, you close your eyes. Okay, it's probably best not to overdo it. You learned your lesson, and this time you try to stay rather close, just to see if your accuracy is working better than your vigor. Oh, fuck! Hot! False alarm! You forgot how bright the goddamn sun is! How stupid is it to just pop into light without adjustment from the dark, and how hot! Scrambling against the wall of the den's entrance, you cling to a spot of shade a few yards away from where you appeared, blinking and squinting. Okay, phew, yeah, you meant to basically teleport into this general area anyways. As long as you don't end up zapping yourself off a cliff like a malnourished coyote, you should be fine, like a malnourished coyote. Coyote, excuse me, fucking. You sigh, glancing up at the sky from your shade. Trees sway habitually, a drone scans the area, and flat beasts crow overhead. You feel like it's gonna be a long day. Time to inform Porrim about your lucky situation. It'll probably do wonders when it comes to finding the path once more and avoiding hazard. Hot. Drone. Wait. Your heart turns to ice as the thing stalks mere trees away, its head turning to scan over the trees and shrubbery. Oh fuck, when did... Never mind. You stay as still as you can, trying to not make a... Is this the good ending? There comes a time in every route that I choose where I have to stop and just go... Did I fuck it up? Damn it. You stay as still as you can, trying not to make a sound. Eventually, you start to walk backwards, not breathing, heart pounding. Expertly, you avoid stepping on a branch and try to keep from alerting the drone. The worrying of danger clogs your senses so much that you startle when Porrim walks up from behind you. Hey, Shh. Fuck. Porrim looks confused as hell before she peers over you, matching your expression with her own look of alarm as the drone swivels its waist to look back in your direction, officially fucking you over. Halt! Oh, wait, hang on.
Self-voicing enabled. Halt.
There we go.
Self-voicing
It worked! For the most part. The artificial sentry thumps closer as you two scramble back. As it inspects the beings that have just made its cop duties an easy day, you take notice that its attention is sharply drawn to Porrim. She flinches as a light sparks from the drone's eye. It casts over her with an LED that scours her solid presence before the light vanishes as the metallic cop gives its status update.
Self-voicing enabled. Scan complete. Residential Beforin detected.
Beforin?
Voicing disabled.
Oh wait, there's more.
Self-voicing enabled. Identification. Porrim Maryam. Self-voicing disabled.
Wait.
Self-voicing enabled. Syncing identification with assigned missing person. Self-voicing disabled. New mission. New mission. Contain and subdue target and proximized hazards. The horrid.
There we go.
Self-voicing disabled.
It worked so well. I gotta say though, I do appreciate the accessibility that offers. That's really cool. I really appreciate that, guys. That's really cool. I really like that. It just so happens that it works for this situation also. I gotta go, Mochi. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. The horrid giant outstretches its arms with an air of guidance that makes Porrim crouch back with a bit of a hiss. Except, okay, so this is definitely the good ending because at this point this drone would have shown up and just like popped in. Thanks for the follow, Void Reller. Thanks for following. Thanks so much. It would just popped in and fucking just shown up, right? At this point we can get away. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was part of an NP game. Either way, that's cool.
Self-voicing enabled. Please stay calm. Come quietly and carefully so we may guide you back to your designated cavern, Miss Maryam. You self-voicing disabled.
Hang on. I have to hear this in the robot voice.
Self-voicing enabled. You are fucking kidding me.
There. That should be as funny as it is. Oh my gosh. You are fucking kidding me. Let's go on. Let's move on. How could it track me if I turned off my husk after figuring out what to do with you? Note to self, read circuit length responses offline. Here we go.
There is no need for alarm. Your safety and well-being is currently within the hands of the law.
Oh.
It suddenly
Oh.
voicing this.
Huh. Hey, Weezlink, you walked in on a robot saying fuck. It suddenly swipes at her like a cat. Porrim reacts with a swift dodge as the iron giant grasps the air, unfortunately distancing her from you before you had the chance to consider using what energy you could to teleport. This is bad. This tin can is trying to take Porrim back. Judging by what she told you, you can't assume that the crime of being a runaway jade would be without whatever consequence was in store. Chittering in her thorax, Porrim pulls out what looks like a container of lipstick? Is she going to decorate her features as a final hurrah of freedom? Damn it. Come on, you stupid. Come on. Come on. We're reading through Homestuck fan game, Befriendus. Weaslink. Going through, this is based on the Dancestors. On Beforus. It seems as if she's having trouble, though, attempting to twist the lipstick as if she had never used it more than once, while that drone approaches her. She already has the cap off. Are you missing something? Please, does she have a spray with a chainsaw? Damn it, you have time to contemplate. You have to do something. Teleporting over to Porrim is risky as hell. You might throw out your back trying to teleport the hefty drone somewhere else. What if you teleport away and can't make it back? Is your only option to be a meat shield? You gulp, looking around for options. Aha! Running over and ignoring your vertigo, you grasp a rock and take aim, actively antagonizing these tricky situations has helped you in the past, and while your overhand could be better, you still hit the metal skull with a satisfying clank. Hey, over here, loser! The overgrown quarterback, stills, save for its dented head. As we could dent its head, that's surprising. As its eyes cast a roving beam of light over you the same way they had it scanned Porrim. There are a few moments of still quiet between the three of you. The next words it suddenly bleats out sound louder.
Self-voicing enabled. Alert. Threat detected. Instead, self-voicing disabled.
It stands rigid and straight as it turns toward you. Optics pierce through your core in an unnerving juxtaposition to the patiently parental way it had tried to coax Porrim. Oh, ha ha! That whiplash was unexpected. Porrim looks puzzled and meets your own befuddled expression as you back up. The rock didn't scrape off enough paint to piss it off, did it? Hang on, criminal detected.
Criminal detected. Wanted on charges of interplanetary terrorism and alleged corrupt napping of the heiress of Beforus.
Oh.
Self-voicing disabled.
Wait, you didn't kidnap Mina. You just sort of looked like you did, with a bomb in tow. Crimes! Crimes! It all comes back to crimes. The drone looks like it's taking in new information before coming to a conclusion.
Self-voicing enabled. Suspect has used lethal force. Suspect spotted in unauthorized custody of missing cavern dweller. Suspect contains a previous record of sticky point stumps and abduction of royal blood. Self-voicing disabled.
Oh wait. You did what? Well, you certainly have a resume to explain. But hey, maybe that's okay. You could just be hauled off to whatever shady authority and explain, hey, no, they got it all wrong. Mina was the one holding the bomb.
Self-voicing enabled.
I love this so much.
Now distributing punishment for repeated offenses and active threats against the Empire. Instant euthanization.
Ah!
Self-voicing disabled.
Okay, that's fair. You might have fucked up a lot and it isn't going to be pretty. You hear Porrim gasp. Oh, God, look at the she's so expressive. Oh, I love it. You hear Porrim gasp, but before more words can be exchanged, you're suddenly launched into something co-equal to a QuickTime event. You yelp as you two find yourself dodging the drone's large hand, only you're not being grabbed at. Splinters of punched-in tree bark burst like confetti next to your fallen form. Clambering up quickly, you sprint around it, but the drone is quicker this time. It keeps its weird-ass robot sensor on you and stalks forward as you keep trying to clumsily distance yourself. While you weren't expecting this thing to start fucking attacking you, it seems hell-bent on physical retaliation. You're not on Eternia anymore, and that mutilated tree could look worse, you guess. Cool, great, nothing, awesome, love it, this is going very well. Nothing about this emergency protocol is overkill. A giant boulder, it's a nice boulder, is suddenly being hurled at your head. You holler as it craters the ground below, kicking up dust and dirt as you trip over yourself in the commotion. This time slower to get up as you cough and sputter. Fuck, your head, it hurts. Where's Porrim? You got some wood chips chucked up your throat. Boom! Your thoughts still as twin steps land on the ground in front of you, daring you to look up. The drone peers over you like a horror monster, and you feel a sense of deja vu, save for the fact that you might actually die now. With a ragged gasp, you force yourself up as quickly as possible, but you only make it to your knees. By that time, the thing's arms have raised above its head like a foreboding mallet, and it swings. Your eyes are closed, and you take a minute or two before opening them again. The clouds of debris floating in the air alert you that you're not in the clouds above. Everything hurts, and you remember hearing a crack as you silently peer up.
You're some yards away from the drone, which slowly starts to appear in the mirage of chaos it's caused. Your ribs and skull don't seem to feel crushed, nor do you feel a particular suffering of blunt trauma. The drone remains crouched over until enough of the dust clears, looking around for the target it had clearly missed. Its intended target is you, and the soldier's silhouette rises among the plumes as it slowly regains posture upon spouting your frozen form. I love the amount of alliterations in this. I love it. That's not what scares you, however. What drains the blood from your face as your wide eyes travel down to the drone's feet. It's a silhouette that pushed you out of the way. Her crumbled figure doesn't seem like it's moving, breathing from your distance, and every bone in your body locks up. Porrim? Oh no. The drone approaches as your disturbed stare tears away from the fallen girl. Your mouth is dry, face drained as you can only think of how awfully you failed this time, backing up slowly toward the trees. You didn't even scratch the surface of Porrim's life, haven't heard even half of the thoughts that she pleaded your attention for in a single conversation. At most, her ideas of change are now only carried within a legacy. A legacy that you would be disruptively silenced from passing forward. The drone finally corners you again, metal arms raised for a few heartbeats before swinging down a final time, and you conclude that this was an unavoidable fate. Woo! Fool me once. This reminds me a lot of, oh man. Fuck, what's the name of the fucking band? I can't think of it, shit. Mystery Skulls. This reminds me a lot of Mystery Skulls. Like, this kind of, this silhouette for something, like the eye, I think it reminds me a lot of, their Ghost music video, thing. You're not dead? Wait, hold on. Wait. Holy shit! Holy shit! Look at those arms! Wait! With a hefty elegance, Porrim shoves the drone back. The overawing strength of hulking metal is suddenly dwarfed by the fiery jade, which has the robot almost tip off balance. It beeps as if itself were surprised at the sudden plot twist before its scanners swipe over the new incarnation of your friend, and you look too, gawking. She's glowing. As in, like a fluorescent bulb, not to mention she is alive. Thanks for the follow, Weaslink. The drone identifies Porrim again as if it hadn't just smashed her like a roach, and what the hell, how did she survive that? And reaches out with a metallic palm. Instead of fumbling, Porrim actually steps forward, grabbing the robotic arm and yanking. So, Porrim took a few levels in Barbarian, it would seem. Holy shit! Oh, she seems really tired of its proddy limbs. Tired and surprised at her own strength, but determined to not lose focus. Porrim drops the arm, sparks flying out of the robot and oil staining the ground before she steps up her game. There it is! Oh, yes! I did read my YouTube tab. You don't want to read through it. Let me read it to you. Oh. The lipstick she had earlier is suddenly in her hand once more, and this time she's able to give it less fidgety attention as she twists. Is that a... You can tell the girls back home that my well-being is none of theirs to bear. It's mine, you shitty toaster. You're thinking of various ways to butter up her performance as Porrim slices through the metal like foil with her angry chainsaw. The drone sputters, spewing sparks and smoke from the jagged diagonal cut dragged from its torso to up its head. Save for Porrim's shoes landing on the inky ground, there's a moment of silence that is long and deafening before the robot finally falls over with a creak, shaking the ground as it lands. You clamber up quickly but carefully with your fragile form to give it a few nudges with your foot. There's so many alliterations, and I love it! Oh! Love it. You give it another. God, the little sparkle effects, that's really nice. Seeing how it doesn't move, you give it a sturdy kick of revenge and whoop out in celebration. Holy shit, you two just did that. Well, two is a strong word. More importantly, Porrim isn't dead, and you aren't about to blubber like a snotty baby anymore. With a satisfying little conclusion to this change of event, or what a satisfying conclusion to this change of events. Hey, Porrim, that was really cool. What is this? Am I glowing? The optimism in your relief deflates. Something is wrong. Porrim is quick to rush over to her bag, pulling out a hand mirror and observing herself. She gasps in a way that tells you that this little light show isn't on purpose. Oh no. No. I thought those were just old mythos. She stares off for a second, looking unsure about how she was supposed to feel. You attempt to chip in that, hey, she's alive, so that's good. You thought she had been squished under that bucket of bolts. That's the problem. I was squished, and my neck still hurts. I'm standing right here, though, yet I'm not alive. This... Rainbow drinkers, they're real?
Wait, so like a zombie?
It's hilarious, actually. She gives you an incredulous look. I don't know what that is, but no. Ugh, I sound ridiculous. That automated asshole killed me, and I came back as this. The signs are all there. The glow, the way I was able to flick the drone away from you, the thirst for blood I've yet to feel. What the hell?
Oh, so she's like a vampire? Okay, well, all right. You can get why she'd still be stunned. Knowing you died and then came back kind of undead seems like a bit of a culture shock. You're still staring at yourself. But hey, she's here, which means she can still keep striving toward her goal about the whole rebellion thing. Also, she's a vampire now. Vampire Rebellion would make a great punk name. Like a punk name band. Damn. Porrim turns, shoulders shaking as she snaps at you in exasperation. You don't get it. I just can't do everything like I planned now. I was going to make plans with people, be in secrecy. Being this thing wasn't part of it. How the hell do I turn this glowing off? Oh, your pause, and Porrim catches your confusion before she breathes out, trying to stay calm. Those are some One Piece tears. Holy cow, some Ghibli, some Ghibli ass tears right there.
Rainbow drinkers are a kind of urban legend. They're said to live off the blood of others and to harbor strength leagues ahead of the normal jade. They're seen as monsters, and while they know who I truly am, others won't. Do you know how hard it would be to gain an alliance with someone who would be quicker to run away? Let alone the fact that, like, what if I have to start doing the blood thing? She swallows. Not to mention that if they caught me, they might even send me back to the caverns. This is strange and freaky. I'm a freak to them, something they can't understand. Hell, I don't understand. And if they don't decide to poke and prod at me at the institutions, then I wouldn't put it past them to treat me like a grub being put out of my misery. I can see the headlines now. Escapee Jade with drinker serum coating... Drinker serum coating destroys property and attacks trolls in a crazed frenzy. A crazed Jade up for euthanization. The perfect cover-up. I could be exaggerating, but I don't think I am. Those CIPs would pull out any excuse to keep their stay at Hive jewels in check. You're trying to figure out words to say, but you can't. You don't get this world, and you're only starting to figure out that it isn't all that it seems. Even if it isn't the literal cutthroat harshness of Alternia, Porrim can't be assuming, could be assuming the worst, but maybe she isn't. What do you know anyways? She just died! How do you provide all-knowing comfort for someone like that? I don't even know how these drones work. That thing could have been recording me the whole time live. I might be on their radar now. They could be sending more. Which means I can't stay here. The crestfallen look to her returns as she glances at the ground. I have to go now. Wait, no, this wasn't how this was supposed to end. Porrim was already packing her things completely now, and you once more fumble. You're starting to realize that this is your fault too. She had everything down pat, and you just had to fuck it up for the both of you. What? Wait, you tell her. She shouldn't have to go through this alone. Does she have another plan already? You could help. You're sorry. She gives a moment of pause, squeezing the strap of her bag before she looks back with a tight smile. Don't apologize. Maybe this was merely a sign that my stupid need to coddle finally got the best of me. Not that I was going to leave you to die, but I should have stuck to the essentials and let you on your way, but without the fluff. I suppose I can use the experience to do better in the future if things don't get cut short with my plans. But between the two of us, not having to deal with a liability is work. She gives you a look. So I'd prefer to get taken down myself than risking the both of us. Thank you for really humoring my previous plans, and stay here until the sun lowers. Please. You've been a good friend. Goodbye. You feel ill. With that, she turns, and you want to follow her into the burning sun that casts reflection on her lightened form, but you're still not doing so hot, and you don't want to become hotter under the scorch. That leaves you here by this now lonely cave. The cloud of debris faded. Hopefully, Porrim will at least keep contact with others on her phone still, but damn it, it shouldn't have to be this complex. It should have never happened. Or it shouldn't have happened. I can't fucking read. You should have just waited a bit longer before overestimating yourself again. You didn't, though, and the hope that it distanced itself in Porrim's eyes makes your heart ache. Your stupidity has just destroyed this girl's plans for a smoother revolt. The word friend echoes through your head. You feel like this should be a victory, but your optimism is suffocated in guilt. The claim of such a title feels cheap and unearned. Last you checked, friends don't ruin each other's lives. Oh, damn. Fool me twice. Yep. That's bad end too. Yep. That's the long bad end. Damn, man. Hey, P. Pamda. Yeah, fucking... the sprites are so good. They're so good. All right. Do you know what I am? All right. Okay. Now, we don't teleport. We zip on by. We extract the venom. You saw this in a movie once. I'm on it. Beforus is just another Wild West of misadventures and dealing with the elements. If you want to avoid getting owned, you have to think fast and draw. Thanks for the follow-up, Pamda. Thank you. Crouching over yourself, it's an oral harmony of slurping and spitting as you attempt to suck out the poison. Wait, venom? Hell, it really doesn't matter. It's not the thing it's not like the thing had teeth, and as the saying goes, if you touch it, it's poison. If it touches you, venomous ivy? If the tree hugger becomes a tree huggy in a forest and no one is around to witness such a toxic exchange, did it bite you? Damn, that's mind-boggling. Your mind is officially boggled. Well, you have some better bastardized quotes for this. The burn means it's working. Success has never tasted sweeter. Though that could just be you. Oh, Turbulent Toxicity. There are no motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Alrighty. Definitely a good game. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, man. Alright. Zip. Zap. Zap. Teleport back. Zip. Alright, now I need to... Look at her go. Now I need to stay until midnight. On it. We straight died. Right? Alright, stay until midnight. Until night. There's no midnight. It's just night. The last time you overestimated yourself taught you a lesson, and it'd be smart to play it safe this time around. Plus, it comes with the bonus of giving Porrim some company before she departs. Maybe after a bit of a nap, though. It's still waking hours, but it'd probably do you best to keep sleeping off whatever remains of your illness, even if her help did make you feel a little better. Her shoulders untense. Agreed. It's ultimately up to you, though I'm glad you're making the wiser choice. The daytime isn't kind to any. Well, except me. The music, I suddenly just hit me. This music reminds me a lot of Persona, actually. Like this is the free time music. It's not a slight so much as a humorous fact, and she smiles warmly. I mean, just look at these sprites. They're so good. I love them. I'll keep a lookout for a little while before resting too. Sneaking around while everyone else is usually asleep has its toll. I may consider this one of my cheat days. You give her a thumbs up, fluffing up the pillow provided to you before you lay on it. Excuse me. Porrim goes back to practicing on her sewing patch while you begin to get some shut-eye. Content next to the fire, relaxed. You take it that you both are in a better place than when you started. Recovery makes you a heavy sleeper, and you assume Porrim is too when given the chance to actually sleep normally. You at least trust that fact when you aren't stirred when something similar to thuds overhead tickles your semi-conscious ears. You feel the thumps, but they're above and beyond, like a distant bird. It's nothing to fret over. By the time you finally stir momentarily, the noise is gone. Huh. Brushing off the slight alarm, you hit the metaphorical snooze button and drift again. You wake up on your back, blinking blearily. God, so good. This time when you rise up, there's strength in your limbs and a blood rush. You're actually able to stretch and give a proper yawn as you glance over to Porrim. She's making herself busy gliding a needle through the seams of your hoodie. Oh, good. Dusk. Did you have a kind slumber? You beam. Hell yeah, you did. You feel reborn and not dying, which is always a good thing, which is a step in the right direction. She chuckles faintly, only pausing when you glance back at her handiwork, slightly flustered as she picks at the needle in her hand. Yeah, I hope you don't mind, though. I should have asked before meddling with your things. The fabric was a little more than ruined, and I happened to have black wool on me. Could I have just closed up the tears rather than replace the entire sleeve? Absolutely not. It's been ages since I've had the opportunity to practice. Oh yeah, it's fine. You'd have to be a dense to feel like it was a bigger bother than whatever dirt and mothballs are on it. I'd rather not sew with thorns on my lap, thanks. Sweet. Porrim gestures at the food plate and cup next to you. She probably gathered the fruit slices and muscle beef jerky before you woke up, and you lick your lips. Waters never look tastier. It's not much, but I figure that you'll eventually find your own things once you're out of here. I'm not going full survivor mode, but my own rations will only last as long as I feel like not sneaking into town for a good burger. I'll refrain from looting the overcompensating violet caterers. Oh yeah. A reasonable enough choice. You do notice that Porrim shifts eye contact with you upon mentioning your eventual departure. You suppose it is bittersweet that she'll be alone in here again, outside of the contacts on her husk. I'll try not to take too long on this. As you eat your breakfast for dinner, yeah, she picks at her tools again in thought, and that gets you thinking too. You don't want to part as strangers, even with the small talk prior, though considering everything, you don't have to keep it small. Yes, you do need to leave tonight, but that doesn't mean right away, yeah? Porrim seems like she has a good head on her shoulders, and depending on how long her journey goes for, it may be a while before she finds someone else to open up to in conversation like this, or at least conversations that feel like she's talking with someone versus being talked at. Swallowing some meat, you pause before shifting where you sit and let out a gasp, catching her attention. What is it? Uh-oh. Ouchie, ouch. Damn, you still feel stupidly sore. Maybe your bones are still waking up? Oh, darn it all. It seems like you'll still need a few more hours before you get up and start bumbling into more carnivorous leaves. Your dramatic performance leaves Porrim blinking out owlishly. Then her expression softens as she hums faintly, almost as if she wanted to laugh. Yes, Are you serious? I suppose your recovery will need a bit more time before we're sure you can walk properly. Your new and very much real injuries seem severe. It's no burden on me, though if you're going to have some extended time here, then you must let me in on knowing why your species is so physically unequipped. Her lips are a vague smile as she lays down her needle, and you pat yourself on the back for your efficient performance. Mentally, so you're not too weird about it. Just, MSPA Reader sitting there like, I did good. I did a good job. As you return back to her with self-admiration, a wet rag smacks into your face. Although you are cleaning the plates. I'm not sure if you've ever traveled dirty nutrition wearing your backpack, but I haven't, and I don't intend to start. Make sure not to leave any specks. That's fair. Tender or not, your arm wasn't exactly out of commission. You hastily grab some of the extra containers of water nearby and get to scrubbing. It seems like you're going to be here for a bit longer, so in the meantime, a little small talk wouldn't hurt. Oh my good hot damn! Oh boy, how did you score this cave? Hey, cool tattoos. What do you want to do in the future? How did you run away? Is that a chainsaw? Save? All right, I'll save. I'll save. How did you score this cave? It's actually a den. I stole it from a grizzle beast. Holy shit! Well, you knew at this point that trolls were capable of power strides, but that must have been a lot of fluff and claws to wrestle. Huh? Oh no, I didn't hurt the thing. Jades are usually taught how to corral Luci when they have tantrums in the caverns. It was nothing, really. I just gave her a fish from the stream in trade. You stare at Porrim, who continues to sew as if pacifying an entire bear was any less badass. Hey, cool tattoos! Small talk. Her tattoos! Not to be weird, but you noticed that they existed when she had previously checked your gauze, just below her collarbone. You're surprised something that, with the way she's talked about her duties, such an occupation would allow body paint on the job. Thanks. They're simple, but admittedly one of my more shameless acts of defiance. Shamelessly stylish, that is. I plan to get more. Fair. You can only assume that the meaning behind them is something simple enough as a starting point, since you admittedly couldn't quite put a finger on what they represent. Actually, they're based on a curved ruler, the one said to have originated on one of Beforus's old islands. According to things I've read, they represent equity and fairness, obviously things that I stand for. Just as the tool fits itself against an object, the ruler shapes itself coolly in a way that gives feature measurement from adjusting itself. Hey, Gab! You're out of here, Gab? Thanks for stopping by, at least. Plus, I didn't feel like permanently marking my body with something impulsively thought out, like a gaudy expression. The meaning is really deep. So she got a tattoo of measuring tape? Of a message, thank you very much. What do you want to do in the future? Well, she briefly glances down at her handiwork, checking the seams as she mutters. Thank you so much, Rhythmic Idealist. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I'll say this every fucking time. You guys do such a great job with this. The entire team is so good at this. I'm so glad you stopped by. It's really flattering that you wanted to come by and hang out today. But thank you. You guys did an amazing job with this. So, have a good one, Robin. Thanks for stopping by and watching. Fashion, probably. I like it enough. It's a good starting point. Obviously, like most things, I got the skill to sew in the caverns, but one time I went to one of the cavern libraries and found a book on things to thread, like dresses and tops. I mean, how was this hiding under my nose the whole time? Do you know how much silk we have lying around that could be made into the prettiest ball block gown? A lot. That's the correct answer. Again, it's just a dream, but hey, maybe that'll be a bit of a pet project during my traveling.
Oh, that'd be an idea, though that'd certainly be a lot to carry.
True, and they'd be a trail if I left them. Luckily, your hoodie seems to be a good test drive. Just count yourself lucky I didn't turn it into a fashionable crop top. Though you don't wear pants, so never mind times 2 on that.
Porrim and you spend a few hours loitering and talking. By the end of it, she's found an excuse to remake both of your sleeves, just so the fabrics don't contrast too much, and she flat out replaces the mothballs she failed to get. Yeah, you don't have time to pick 3. I kind of figured as such, so we'll go back and get the other ones. As much as you would love to find more excuses to hang out, it's probably best for you to get on your way, and so Porrim is able to figure out which paths to take, metaphorical or otherwise. Standing up, you wobble for a second before going still, and with the lack of dizziness, you beam. Hell yeah, you feel way better than you did when dying. You know what? That's typically how that goes, actually.
I'm glad to see the recovery went pretty well. Just look before you leave next time, okay?
Yes, ma'am. You give a nod as she hands you back your hoodie. She did a fine job making those sleeves shine. As you slip the thing back on, your arms instinctively go into your pockets, where you feel something crinkle against your palm. Your confusion is answered as to reach in to take a piece of paper that reads out a handle? Porrim's handle specifically as you glance at her, the troll shrugging.
I can't turn my signal on for the moment. Never know when a drone may sync to it. Make sure that you give Aranea a verbal hello from me, and, well, you know, don't be a stranger. It can be an emergency contact, or a casual one. It may be a hot second before we see each other again, but it'll all depend. I don't always like relying on others, but if I have to couch hop with some friends, I will. That may include you if we meet up anytime soon enough.
It takes you a moment to pick up what Porrim is dropping, and you give her a parted look before melting into a grin, the girl returning it. This friendship felt especially fulfilling to finally achieve, and the best part was that you felt that Porrim had achieved one of her own. Wherever her shoes take her, it was certain that she knew that what she needed to do with her life, and what she was going to try achieving on her own terms. The ability to care and this planet's way of twisting it were beyond each other's comprehension, and you knew which came out on top. Both of you did, and for certain you'd let Porrim know that friendship and empathy was a two-way street. You'll let her know the next time you pop back in as proof. Hey! Fashion and compassion. Empath to success. Zap. Love it. I love it. All right, let's get those other ones.
How do you solve a problem like Mario?
All right, we'll load this up real quick. Let's see. So we'll do how did you run away?
I snuck out, or, well, I used the advantage of being constantly outside. Most Jades stay in the caverns, though a few of us get the privilege of getting resources from outside. By privilege, I'm referring to those of us who they didn't really think were as adequate to take care of the grubs and wigglers. They didn't say that, but we knew. After they decided I was a menace, they gave me that duty. I did it for a while, though mostly so I could scope the area before going out one day and not coming back. I was so reasonably seen as doing my duties all day, and for them, me being out of sight and out of mind was more a blessing than a concern. Going the night after undetected was no issue, though we're terrible at staying awake when others are. I made sure during my earlier trips to take things one by one so no one noticed anything, which is how I got a good handful here.
She gestures at the supplies leaned against the wall.
Once I started going a bit further, there's no going back.
So she's not staying in here? Actually, wait, yeah, rhetorically stupid question. Of course she's not going to loiter in this dusty den. It doesn't seem her style, nor even the style of most trolls on a planet that seemed a little more advanced than you often gave it credit for. They have buildings inside caves, for Pete's sake.
I don't know who Pete is, but it's only been a few nights. This is a temporary shelter at best for at least one more night, since it's a deep enough home for Lucii by definition, not trolls.
Well, at least she has a plan, and hey, if for whatever reason she had to turn tail and head back, she could say that she very much got ambushed by a bear, or got stung by a venomous plant.
If I had to be honest, I'd rather they find me than look like I just about died on a nature trail. No offense.
Nearly going out flower style isn't something you would want people to know either. Porrim and you take a quick moment to swear secrecy to your blunder, even if you're sure Arenea's already in on the choke, that being you. Is that a chainsaw? She smirks a little. My ability to read has rapidly declined. She smirks a little, as if proud, which she most definitely is as she sits up a bit straighter, jabbing her thumb in its direction.
It is. They really sucked at informing traveling Jades about the undead that limp around, probably on purpose. Naturally, I needed some self-defense, though they don't come easy to find. Not that I'm not capable alone. but you never know what those things are carrying. A little black marketing here, a little there, details.
Yeesh, you're lucky you didn't run into any of those then. The idea of Beforus having zombies of their own surprises you, but then again, it's not like the layout is much different, societal bigotry aside.
Yeah, there's not much to do about them, but alas, perhaps exterminating them, though, I'm sure they'd want us to see how redeemable parasitic corpses are before we'd think about not doing that.
You nod, wondering yourself if a zombie would have taken you out quicker than the plant, or if they could have taken each other out.
Plants versus zombies.
Okay. That's the joke we're gonna go with. Alright. Okay. And what do you want to do? Alright, let's just get to that end screen again. Alright, well, we're back here. Never mind. Alright, we got some novels to read. We got some journal to read. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Alright. Plants vs. Zombies Stream 1. God, it's been years since I played Plants vs. Zombies. Holy hell. Alright. On the 16th. Wait, now we gotta go through this. Not gotta. We wanna. I wanna read through all this.
It seems that Basilisk also chooses to remain silent on the matter of the obscured. If it weren't for the strength of my powers, I dare say she may have challenged me. Usually blue bloods require a more impressionable target than a steel-minded teal, but I'm something of a special case. I met her in her workshop as soon as the sun went down. I'd been itching to pick her think pan all day long. The clock truly can be torturous sometimes, but such is the life of a woman sentenced to isolation in a dusty old book hive. Thanks, darling. And if you do happen to be reading this, kindly remove your cartilage nub from my private affairs.
Wow, cartilage nub for... Alright, from nose, huh?
When I first heard of the Basilisk, I will freely admit that I didn't expect much from her. Teals are abundant in the world of law, and she's no different. What I wasn't expecting was all the stuffed animals. It was as if I'd stepped into a factory with roads of fluff and a chorus of stuffed dragons staring holes straight into my skin as I marched right to her desk. She attempted to act as if her blindness would at all prevent her from being painfully aware of my entry. I didn't play along. Excruciatingly, my efforts to secure an interrogation warrant over day were all for naught. She didn't see the warrant I may or may not have brought. I am in fucking hell. Thankfully, despite her best efforts, her mental tiptoeing was no match for my unrivaled telepathy. When I uttered the obscured's title, I'd found my foothold. Every answer I could want was right inside her mind, and she was an open book for me. She remained silent, either ignoring me or being painfully aware I had full access to the tomes of her mind. I, of course, prodded her more, asking about his name, the true hue of his blood, his whereabouts. In order to determine a falsehood definitively, one must be aware of its truthful equivalent. To know the sky isn't green, you must first know that it's purple. And to know the wild honk beast I'm chasing hasn't bitten the dust yet, you must know he's very alive and well. Exceedingly so, in fact. It's no essay, but I could easily glean that he's some sort of speaker, public speaker, in fact. Debate clubs, school lectures, middle of the fucking street if he has to. What he talks about is beyond me in the most literal sense. Calls for violence, for anger, for being downright barbaric. How he's evaded culling thus far astounds me. Karkat Vantis has gone by a few titles over the sweeps, apparently. The Nameless, the Shepherd, the Hardcore, Boss Lord Rage Spit, how childish. Far more than his pitiful lifespan should allow.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, I love it.
That or the vast array of communities he visits are unable to collectively agree on a suitable nickname for him. Reputation has its low points, I suppose. Unfortunately, it's hard to get a good look at the guy through a blind woman's eyes. Talk about an unlucky break. Under the thin veil of boredom, I thank her for her time and bid her adieu. I have confirmation he's alive. Who knows where he's alive, but he is. Not even she's privy to his whereabouts, either for his own protection or because of an insufferable inability to keep still. She's undecided. She's well aware of every little nugget of delectable, juicy information she's provided me. It's written all over her face. Precious. Unfortunately, this likely means she'll be warning him about my intention to find him. She hadn't considered it as far as I'm aware, but she's no fool. It will dawn on her come morning light. Finding this petulant wiggler may have become significantly more tiresome. Time is of the essence, the most essence even. Tick-tock, I suppose. End of entry.
Checkmate, atheists. Oh, I love it. All right, chapter 4.
On the 17th. I paid a visit to militant Caligula's detainment complex tonight. It's hard for some to get in touch with him given his strict work schedule, but it's not as if he's at all immune to my charm. Far from it, in fact. He's remarkably and pathetically susceptible. He hungers for companionship like most need food or air. Throw a little bait out and you'll have him hook, line, and sinker. Ugh, she's got me making fish puns now. Looking back, I made a few aquatic references in my conversation with Caligula. I sincerely hope he thought nothing of it. Normally, he will take a polite, gritted fangs greeting as an invitation to slide over and reach an arm around your shoulder. He's insufferable and damn infamous for it. But, and this is a big but, it means he's easy to make an asset out of. There's a rich man who will jump for chump change. And it's not as if it's hard to guess how to appeal to him. He's in charge of her heiress's protection facility for warm hues. He's in charge of lowbloods deemed too dangerous to care for themselves. There's a recipe, that's a recipe for one hell of a superiority complex if I've ever heard of it. Total control freak, that one. I've seen it with my own 8 eyes. The second I walked into his complex, I was met with one of the most agonizing telepathic choruses I've ever heard. It's as if I'd become a prophet of doom for a night. My digestion sac may have churned if I were anything less than a professional. I'd have expected defiant lowbloods to harden themselves when cuddled so excessively, put up a barrier to protect their dignity. These trolls, however, broken. I could read their lives clear as the searing sun. Every underhanded tactic that the man's performed on them, every ignored detainment law, every shattered dream of escape, the man's thorough. Of course, her heiress doesn't know a thing about this. As far as she's aware, it's all moonshine and rainbows in here. I wonder if she'd do what she'd do if she found out about the conditions within these walls. I'm finding myself sidetracked. Perhaps Caligula is simply so uncharismatic I'd rather discuss his torture chamber than him. Unfortunately, I'm not as privy to his thoughts as I am the numerous trolls protected here on account of his sea-dwelling blood. Even if I were, I wouldn't be able to hear hide nor hair of the racket around here. So, equally unfortunately, his words will have to do. I asked him about the obscure the minute he invited me in. The sooner the conversation ended, the better, I thought. God, I need to adjust. Ugh. My back is killing me. I have a fold-out chair. That's my gaming chair, and there's like where the top ends is like right at my lower back, and it's just digging into it. Anyway. He had no clue who I was talking about, which was not great to say the least. A short conversation, sure, but he's the one contact I have who wouldn't bite me in the ass down the line about this. Any other sensible adult would have shown me the door to avoid the legal shitstorm that even talking about him would bring. It's why I had to ask someone who gave no fucks about the danger of saying a person's name. It's a good thing he's got some contacts of his own, or tonight would have been the biggest waste of time spent on the biggest waste of hope. Okay. Playing into the aspects, I like it. Getting an audience with a high grand blood himself would have been laughable, but hello, Finface claims he owes him a favor. See? Asset. Of course, I've yet to see if he can live up to his grandiose claims, or if he's simply attempting to seem impressive in hopes of a paling session. Time will tell, and if not, we'll see if his severed head will make any more boastful claims. Dear, if you're reading this, I apologize profusely for my last sentiment. I know you sorely struggle with graphic imagery. However, stop reading my journal. Kisses! I've too nice to travel to the high hang on. Chucklebuck Church? Is supposed to be Chucklefuck? Hang on. Chucklebuck Church for his audience. A trivial matter, assuming I can borrow one of Dearest's shuttlefish pods, which I certainly will. Crap, I'm gonna have to think of some jokes, aren't I? End of entry. Alright. Well, that's it for the new Befrienduses. Oh man, I love them. They were so good. Oh. Hot damn, they were so good. Hang on, there we go. There it is. Fucking idiot. Oh god, they're so good. As usual, the Befriendus team does such an amazing job with it. Oh man. God, you got the team does such an amazing job, and I know you guys are in the chat. You all did such a good job again with this. Oh, I loved it. But that's the end of Befriendus, so we're gonna do the YouTube outro real quick, then we're gonna go to Mindstock for like an hour and a half, maybe. Hour and 20 minutes. Hour 15 minutes. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure you click the like button down below and subscribe to keep up with my stuff. New videos almost every Monday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. They are my stream VODs. There's a link down in the description below that takes you to my Twitch channel, to where you can see my schedule and everything like that. Know when I'm going live and get notifications about all that kind of stuff. Comment, what was your favorite one? Was it Aranea or Porrim? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know which one, because they're both really, really good. Oh, I love them so much. Oh, gosh, dang it. I love them. They're so good. Share this with your friends. If you have friends who are into Homestuck and they never heard of Befriendus or any of the fan games like this, Distant Quest, whatever, show it to them, because they might be interested in seeing this take on the Alpha Trolls when they were living on Beforus, because it's just so good. Just show it to your friends, because it's fucking amazing. And then go play it for yourself. It's on itch.io. I also have a link down in the description that takes you to their page as well, so you can download it. So fucking good. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you next time. Later, everybody.